Cash back from eating at your favorite soup dumpling restaurant, doubled. All the cash back from that trip where you sort of learned how to snowboard, also doubled. And the best part, you don't have to do anything ridiculous to get it. Nope, Discover does it automatically. Seriously, though, see terms and check it out for yourself at discover.com/match.
How long does it take to tackle a home project? With Angie, you could cross it off your list before this ad is over. Just tell us what you need. Indoor or outdoor, repair or redesign. And we handle the rest, sending a top pro to get it done. You don't have to lift a finger, except to tap the screen or click the mouse. Plus, Angie is free to use. So bring us your next home project, and we'll bring it home. Download the app or go to Angie.com. That's ANGI.com to get...
This week on The Marketer's Report, Patrizio Spagnoletto, Global Chief Marketing Officer, Direct-to-Consumer for Warner Brothers Discovery, weighs in on building trust.
Trust is a really hard thing to build and a really easy thing to destroy, and we have to be very respectful about that. Our partnership with iHeart has really helped us build that trust and that relationship with the on-air talent.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives you access to all. Every audience, live conversations, trusted influencers, and the data you need to grow. Go to iHeartResults.com for more.
Going on today until 4, it's the iHeartMedia Outdoor Living Show. The presenting sponsor is Era Gallery. Tony is here from Era Gallery with cushion patio furniture. If you want it just on a hot summer day, just kick back and relax. You've got the softness and really the cushioning to make it enjoyable.
Yeah, not only do you have hundreds of colors to choose from, but with our foam, it's a 5-inch thick foam, so it's super comfortable. It's outdoor rated foam, so it's open cell. The water goes through it. It doesn't stay waterlogged. They're bleach resistant, chlorine resistant, bromine resistant. You can power wash them. You can take them in and put them in the wash machine and wash them. They're just super durable.
You can take the extremes of an Iowa winter.
Absolutely.
Okay. And of course, fire tables kind of add a little special note to the outdoor space.
Yeah, those too. They provide a lot more heat, so it prolongs the season. In the spring and the fall, you get a lot more use out of them.
Okay, great. Come out and see Tony from Era Gallery, presenting sponsor of the iHeartMedia Outdoor Living Show. It goes on until 4 today. Old Yonkers at Lindale Mall.
Iowans, you have dozens of betting options. Try a sports book built by bettors and run by bettors. Fred Doan started Betfred over 50 years ago with funds from a winning bet, and he's been known for delivering the best betting experience ever since. Visit betfredsports.com to give us a try. New customers betting $50 get 111 in Fred bets and up to 200 Fred bets per week for 5 weeks. Terms apply. Proud partner of the Iowa Cubs and Iowa Wild. Must be 21 plus. Wagers only accepted in Iowa. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Stay safe on the roads with Rain-X Weather Armor windshield wiper blades. Now at Menards. They provide less streaking, better driving visibility, and clear wipe performance throughout any season. Rain-X wiper blades are available in assorted sizes, so you can find the right fit for your windshield. Get 11% off all Rain-X wiper blades at Menards. Good through March 12th. Savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Asthma symptoms can attack anywhere, like on a city street. Now you can get fast relief anywhere with new improved Primatene Mist, the only FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. So whether you need relief of symptoms at the park or at your kitchen table, Primatene Mist starts working quickly, opening up your airways to restore free breathing. For temporary relief of mild symptoms of intermittent asthma, use Primatene Mist and breathe easy again. Available at CVS, Rite Aid, and Walgreens. Use as directed.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language? In as little as 3 weeks, Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Think It Up is an initiative to activate student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classrooms today? Join at thinkitup.org.
All the radio stations you love, every playlist to match your mood, the podcasts that everyone's talking about. If it's on the iHeartRadio app, it's free. Download the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts.
iHeartRadio.
Hawkeye Sports and Fox Sports.
Portions of the following
AM 800, KXIC Iowa City. Available everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Now #1 for podcasting.
on the Hawkeye Sports Network. From Learfield, this is Iowa Hawkeye Wrestling, presented by Pioneer, an American seed brand since 1926. Also brought to you by Hy-Vee. Score big savings at HyVeeDeals.com. Oak Knoll, an active life care community. Dodge Street Tire and Auto, your family-friendly, dependable, and honest auto repair shop, celebrating 30 good years in Iowa City. Riverside Casino and Golf Resort, home of the Draft Day Sports Lounge, just minutes south of Iowa City. Homewood and Home 2 Suites, preferred hotel of the Hawkeye Radio Network. Iowa Lottery, be a VIP with the Iowa Lottery. Visit IALottery.com for details. And by University of Iowa Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Now, welcome to Hawkeye Wrestling.
Good Sunday morning, and welcome back into, I guess that is afternoon now. Time flies when you're starting to have a lot of fun here in the East Coast. Welcome back to the Chrysler Arena inside the Chrysler Center as we get ready for day number 2 of the 2023 Big Ten Wrestling Championships. Stephen Grace and Mark Ironside thanking you for coming along and joining us. As we head into this day, we will have a full round of 9th place bracket matches. Then we will have the Consolation semifinals. The winners will be moving on to wrestle for 3rd. The losers will be dropping down to wrestle for 5th. Then we will have all of these 7th place matches. We've got some Hawkeyes in the Consolation semis. We've got a few Hawkeyes in the 7th place matches. And then they will finish out these 9th place brackets. We'll jump off the air for a little bit. And then we come back on tonight at 4:30 Eastern Time, 3:30 in Iowa City for the 1st, 3rd, and 5th place matches of this year's tournament. We come into the session today. Iowa Hawkeyes sitting in 2nd place behind Penn State. The Nittany Lions have 120 team points. They have 6 in the championships tonight. They have 3 still alive in the Wrestlebacks. At 2nd place is the Hawkeyes, 108.5. We have 3 in the championships, 7 in the Wrestlebacks. That does include 3 points that were added overnight as Iowa's Abe Assad was in the 7th place match. He is going to win by medical forfeit. So that will be 1 point for 7th place plus 2 points for the forfeit. So 3 extra points for the Hawkeyes. That is factored in there. Nebraska in 3rd with 98.5. They have 5 in the championships, 2 in the Wrestlebacks. Ohio State in 4th with 77. They have 2 and 5 respectively. Minnesota in 5th at 73. They have 2 and 5. Michigan at 67. Northwestern at 64. Rounding out the top 7, all of those teams are above 60 points. Looking at bonus points, the Hawkeyes, the clear leader right now, 17 bonus points. Penn State just 9.5. Nebraska with 8. You figure the Hawks are 10 points ahead of the Cornhuskers. 9-point differential in bonus points. So that's a big reason why we are sitting where we are in 2nd place. So, Mark, looking at it, had some really good stuff yesterday. We had some stuff that hopefully would have gone a little bit better. Unfortunately, you hate to see 3 guys wrestling in that 7th place match, but we did get all 10 through in a qualifying tournament, and we're there in the team race. We need a lot of things to go our way, but getting ready to get after it here and do some good hard wrestling this afternoon.
Well, we've honestly had a pretty good tournament so far. I mean, obviously we're not in first place. We only have 3 finalists versus Penn State's 6 finalists. We knew coming into this tournament that Penn State was extremely loaded, and they're going to be tough to beat. They're number 1, highly ranked number 1, and deservingly so coming in this tournament. And even Nebraska, 5 finalists for Nebraska. That's a great tournament for Nebraska, but as you just mentioned, we're leading Nebraska. We have a lot more guys in the wrestleback rounds. We're taking an entire 10 guys, an entire team to the Nationals, which Penn State right now, they have Gary Steen, their 125-pound wrestling right now as we speak down there. And that's all tied up 2-2. He's wrestling Lujan of Michigan State. That one's in the 2nd period. And that's the wrestleback for the 9th place bracket. So if Gary Steen would win this one, I think, one more?
Yeah.
He would place 9th and then be able to go to the NCAA tournament for Penn State, and Penn State would take all 10 guys. If Gary Steen loses this match or the next one, then Penn State will not have a 125-pounder in the tournament. But, I mean, Penn State's pretty loaded with some serious horses. Obviously with RBY and Starachi and Brooks, Dean, and Kirkley, and then they've filtered in some other really good individuals as well too. They're just a tough team, but Steen just got taken down, so he trails 4-2 right now. But the Hawkeyes have had a good tournament, and knock on wood, for the most part, I think as of right now, we're healthy. We haven't gotten injured yet, and I hate even saying that out loud with the unfortunate injuries that we've had over the last so many years. I think the only real injury that we had, really honestly, is just Teskey's eye that he had to get stitched up between matches last night. He got a major cut right above his eye that was gushing blood out and really couldn't be stopped, and they had to put the bandage gable wrap on it like 3 different times, and it kept bleeding through the gable wrap. But besides that, I think we're pretty healthy, and that's what I just honestly right now, we have all 10 guys qualified and going. We want 3 titles here today out of Spencer and Real Woods and Patrick Kennedy, and we want to be able to come back and place as high as we can in the consolation matches. But at the same time, right now, I just want us to remain healthy and stay on a good streak that we're on right now, feeling good, wrestling good, kind of firing on all cylinders, go back and evaluate things and get ready for Tulsa.
Well, you got guys, Muran, Warner, and Cassioppi losing in the semifinals last night. Tough matches for all 3 of those guys. They've got to come back and be able to see if they can get up to that third-place spot. Muran has done it before. He did it last year. Cassioppi's done it before. Warner's come close a couple of times. I think he was 4th last year. It's a hard spot to get knocked off on a Saturday night and then have to turn around and come back and be ready to go, especially when you have guys that maybe have wrestled 2 or 3 matches in the backside with some momentum. But really big opportunities for those guys because they could score a lot more points there, too, to help with this team race.
For sure, and as much as I hate to even say it, because it's never what you shoot for, it's never what you want. You always want to be in that the finals, whether it's here this afternoon at 3:30 or whether it's in the finals of the NCAAs at nighttime and up on the elevated stage. You always want to be in the finals, but not everybody, is going to make the finals. You're going to find yourselves in the consolations, and you're going to find yourself in the medal matches on a Sunday afternoon here at the Big Ten Championships or on a Saturday morning at the NCAA Championships. And this right now for our guys that are in the consolations here, this is a good, I don't want to say practice, but it's a good experience to be in a situation like this because for some of these guys, they're going to be fighting for 3rd, 5th, and 7th at the NCAAs for All-American status. And so that's why you got to make sure that you're ready to go when you step on the mat and you get good warmed up and you're feeling good when you step on the mat and then you wrestle a full 7 minutes and then some. And the thing is you get to this level and you get in the consolations, especially the nationals. There are no easy matches.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Muran drawing Yaya Thomas right now for the consolation semifinals. That could be something could totally happen at nationals.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's how it is. You get incredibly good guys wrestling good guys, and they're not even going for the championship. They're not even in the finals. They're in the consolation semifinals. And that's just how the sport works out and at highest levels. And this is one of the reasons that you train and you compete, not to wrestle for a consolation semifinal match, but this is why you work hard for when the time comes, and it's a hard-fought, tough match. No matter whether it's first round of the tournament, the finals of the tournament, wrestlebacks or medal match round, you're ready to go. And this is a big match for Max Muran.
Today's tournament preview brought to you by Hy-Vee. Score big savings. Shop online at HyVeeDeals.com. We've got a little while before our first Hawkeye makes his way out to the mat, so we're going to step out and take our first break here of the morning. We'll be back with more from Ann Arbor right after this. You're listening to Hawkeye Wrestling from Learfield.
Stock up on your big game essentials with Local Craft Cellar. Local Craft Cellar in Cedar Rapids is your one-stop shop, offering Eastern Iowa's best selection of craft beer, wine, and spirits, plus Edgewood locker meats and a wide variety of Iowa-made products. At Local Craft Cellar, they have the stuff you won't find anywhere else. Stop by today at 7085 C Avenue Northeast in Cedar Rapids. Again, that's 7085 C Avenue Northeast. Please drink responsibly.
The best beers are the ones shared with friends. Gather yours and join the fun with Travel Leaders Destination Unlimited and their 23 Oktoberfest in Bohemian Adventure. Go on a trolley beer crawl in Prague, raft a river, climb a mountain, and celebrate in Munich's Oktoberfest. Learn more at duagency.com.
Making a move from the outhouse to the penthouse? Do you have property your brothers need help with transferring ownership? Do you love everything Hawkeye from Kinnick to Carver? Then you'll want to talk with us. Hi, this is Steve Anderson with Hawkeye Title and Settlement, ready to serve you high-quality real estate title and closing services. Oh, and we also love our Iowa basketball, but we're also happy to assist Cyclone fans too. Hawkeye Title and Settlement of Iowa City and HawkeyeTitle.com. The team you love, the people you trust.
Hi, Hawkeye fans. My name is Denali. And I'm Riley. We're still members of your Iowa Hawkeye softball team. During the off-season, conditioning is number one. At Iowa City Tire and Service, they keep our cars in top running condition year-round. And they treat their customers like family. Find them at 410 Kirkwood Avenue or online at ictire.com. Proud sponsors of Hawkeye softball. Iowa City Tire and Service, where service actually comes first. Go Hawks! Woo-hoo!
This is Iowa Hawkeye Wrestling on AM 800 KXIC Iowa City.
I'm here for Pioneer Brand Seeds, a block away from another ag company's corporate office. This company concentrates their breeders here in one centralized location. That's not how Pioneer works. Our breeders are located where their test plots are. That way, Pioneer corn breeders gain insights about what does and doesn't work for a local geography in real time. Ask your local Pioneer sales representative about field-proven Pioneer brand corn hybrids. And like our breeders, they're located near you.
It is the iHeartMedia Outdoor Living Show presented by Era Gallery. Tony is here from Era Gallery. The show goes until 4 today at the Old Yonkers location at Lindale Mall. Tony, talk a little bit about some of the poly furniture. This may take the form of like Adirondack chairs.
Yeah, it's recycled acrylic, similar to maintenance-free decking. There's a lot of collections like the Adirondack chairs. There's gliders and benches and dining tables. With ours, there's not much fill in them, so they're fade-resistant. 40, 50 years. They're thicker boards, so they weigh heavy.
As part of the design, you can speak from a wide variety of colors.
Yeah, there's a lot of bright colors, but also a lot of neutrals, wood-toned, wood-grain embossing, so they look like wood now instead of acrylic.
And, of course, it holds up to a strong Iowa winter.
Absolutely. You leave them year-round. You don't touch them.
Okay. If you'd like to get more information, Tony has fire tables, also a cushion patio furniture, and can give you the details from Era Gallery, the presenting sponsor of the iHeartMedia Outdoor Living Show at the Old Yonkers location in Lindale Mall. It goes on until 4 today.
Hit a deer? Call Premier. Premier Automotive in North Liberty is Eastern Iowa's most trusted name in auto body repair. Our premier reputation is built on providing superior customer service, accurate estimates, and high-quality work. Our experienced staff guarantees your vehicle is restored and back on the road in no time. Premier Automotive in North Liberty or online at premierautoiowa.com. Drive safely, but if you hit a deer, call Premier.
This is Iowa Hawkeye Wrestling on AM 800 KXIC Iowa City.
Welcome back to Ann Arbor, the Chrysler Arena inside the Chrysler Center. Stephen Grace and Mark Ironside as still await the Consolation semifinals. We've got a lot of the ninth place brackets going on to help determine the automatic qualifiers for the NCAA tournaments and also some positioning for at-large bids. Thankfully, the Hawkeyes not having to worry about any of those as we've got all 10 guys automatically qualified. Taking a look at the matchups that we have here early this afternoon in the Consolation semifinals. Win and you go on to wrestle for third. Lose and you drop down to wrestle for fifth. Wins in this round are worth 3.5 points plus any bonus. You get 3 points for the placement, half a point for advancement, plus any bonus points. At 149 pounds, Max Muran is the number 4 seed. He's taking on the number 3 seed, Yaya Thomas of Northwestern. Yaya winning in the dual meet at Carver Hawkeye Arena 3-2. Muran winning twice last year, 6-5 and 4-3, and also back when they were both true freshmen by the score of 4-3 at the Midlands in 2017. Hard to believe 6 years ago they were wrestling each other. At 174 pounds, Nelson Brands got a big win last night in the round of 12, another big win in the Consolation quarterfinals. They only take 7 at 174. He's now guaranteed a top 6 finish, which means he is automatically into the tournament. He will be taking on the number 4 seed Bailey O'Reilly of Minnesota. Those two have never wrestled before. O'Reilly in the dual meet defeated Aiden Riggins by a score of 4-1. At 197 pounds, 5th seed Jacob Warner will take on the number 6 seed Jackson Smith of Maryland. Those two have never met before. And then at heavyweight, 3rd-ranked Tony Cassioppi taking on number 4 Lucas Davidson of Northwestern. Beat him 3-2 in the dual meet this year, 7-3 last year. That is another one of those epic battles between literally 3rd and 4th seed in the Big Ten, also 3rd and 4th ranked in the country. They could very well be 3rd and 4th at the NCAA championships coming up in a week and a half. Again, those winners all will move on to wrestle for 3rd. Losers will drop down and wrestle for 5th. Then we have 3 7th-place matches. 8th-seeded Brody Teskey at 133 pounds will be taking on the number 7 seed Joe Heilman of Rutgers. They have never wrestled before. At 157 pounds, number 5-seeded Kobe Seabrecht will be taking on the number 10 seed Derek Gilcher of Indiana. And then at 184 pounds, Abe Assad is the number 5 seed. He has already been awarded his 7th-place victory by medical forfeit over the number 6 seed Lane Maljewski of Michigan State. So a couple of bonus points, and that puts the Hawkeyes into a solid 2nd place right now, 10 points ahead of Nebraska, but still 11.5 behind the Penn State Nittany Lions. Then you look ahead to the finals matches tonight, 1st, 3rd, and 5th place bouts. We'll have top-seeded Spencer Lee taking on the 2nd seed Liam Cronin of Nebraska. Spencer has penned Cronin the 2 times they wrestled before, including in 38 seconds back in Carver Hawkeye Arena earlier this year. Now, at 141, top seed Real Woods will be taking on the number 3 seed Brock Hardy of Nebraska. That was a 6-4 score when they wrestled at Carver. At 149, either 3rd or 5th place, Max Muran will wrestle either Shane Van Ness of Penn State or the number 7 seed Graham Rooks of Indiana. Van Ness and Rooks will be wrestling in the other Consolation semifinal. Winners wrestle each other, losers wrestle each other. The final at 165 pounds, 3rd-seeded Patrick Kennedy will take on the top seed Dean Hamady of Wisconsin. That was a 4-3 score in the dual meet in Madison in favor of Hamady. At 174 pounds, 7th seed Nelson Brands will take on either the number 5 seed Edmund Ruth of Illinois. Ruth winning that one 2-1 in tiebreakers back in January at Carver Hawkeye Arena, or the number 3 seed Ethan Smith of Ohio State. Brands and Smith have never wrestled before. At 197, for either 3rd or 5th, Jacob Warner will have a rematch with the quarterfinals against number 4 Cam Caffey of Michigan State, or a rematch from a match that he lost in January at Carver to the number 3 seed Zach Bronigal of Illinois. 3-1 was the score of that one. And then Tony Cassioppi will wrestle for either 3rd or 5th. He will take on either the number 5 seed Trent Hilger. He has a slew of wins against Hilger in his career, including 4-1 this season, or the number 7 seed Tate Orndorff of Ohio State. He also has 4 victories, including 2 majors and 2 falls in his career against Orndorff. So those are the matchups that the Hawkeyes will be facing here as soon as they get underway in just a little while. Hawk fans, experience your home away from home at Coralville's finest all-suite hotels, Homewood Suites and Home 2 Suites by Hilton. Let their warm and friendly staff take care of you and your family when you visit Hawkeye Country. Well, we did this yesterday a little bit. Since we've got some time, I had a chance this week to chat a little bit with Damon John from Riverside. Before that, though,
you just do such a good job up here, Steven. Like, you just sit here and just rattle stuff off. I'm just sitting here, like, crowd watching and watching a little bit of wrestling. Those of you need to know, Penn State's Gary Steen did get beat, so he did not qualify. So Penn State will only be sending 9 to the finals or to the national championships in Tulsa. So, but yeah, you know what? Everybody always talks about, me more so than you. But I tell you what, if it wasn't for you, Steven, God bless you. wouldn't even be near the broadcast because I wouldn't get the reads in. I wouldn't get all the history of everything in or whatever. I can show up and talk wrestling, but thank you for doing all that you do for this broadcast, and it means a lot. I don't even have to set the equipment up. I don't have to haul the equipment around. I got like the easiest and the best job in the world. I really, really do, and I appreciate that very much. And we've been up here just kind of we're kind of high up, about probably halfway up here, but we got a good view of the mats, and we got a good little desk area here, and right next to us we have Flow Wrestling. We got Andy Hamilton and Christian Piles down there, and we're able to hobnob with them throughout the tournament as well, so we're in good company, and it's just been a good event so far. I'm looking forward to the Nationals. The Nationals is always fun.
Yeah.
Getting into Tulsa. At the Nationals every year, they have that Win Memorabilia show, their Win Expo show between rounds. It's just a good camaraderie of all the fans that come together. Mike Chapman started that way back in 1995.
Wow.
Brian Van Clay runs that now. He's out of Newton, and he's here as well, too. Runs the Win magazine, and it's just a good event. The Big Ten's been a good event. The Win Memorabilia show every year, they've got all the different vendors, from all over the country there. It gives the fans something to do between sessions. Iowa Style Apparel is not going this year, just a long ways down into Tulsa, but we will be in Kansas City. But I still highly recommend, in between rounds, go and checking out the Win Memorabilia Show and Win Expo. They'll have the Dan Hodge Award trophy on display there, so it's kind of cool, kind of neat to be able to see the Dan Hodge Award that's given every year to the what they call the Heisman of wrestling, so to speak. And
right.
Spencer Lee he could become the second person to win it 3 times.
Yeah.
Given the track that he's on, and as long as he continues to do what Spencer Lee does, I don't think it's even going to be close, and he'll probably get 1,000% of the votes. And I know that last year over 30,000 different fans voted for that, and that's voted upon by fans and then some media outlet people. All former Hodge winners get an opportunity to vote on that as well, too. So there's a lot of different things that vote on that. It's not just driven by the fans. It's all taken into accumulation. And Spencer Lee, obviously, is pretty much not to get into we got to come up with another term here. I don't want to say basketball terminology, slam dunk, but it's pretty much a fall for Spencer Lee to be the Dan Hodge Award winner for the 3rd time in his career, which is phenomenal in itself. So thanks to Mike Chapman and Bev Chapman and their awesome family, sons Jason and daughter Jenny, and I was able to see him at the Hawk Party here about a month ago, and they've done so much, Mike Chapman has, for the sport of wrestling and the history of the sport of wrestling. And the guy is just like a walking encyclopedia. Anything you need to know about the sport of wrestling, you just ask a guy like that. And he's written numerous books. From Gotch to Gables is a really good one, and Troy's really good. And we could go on and on about Mike Chapman, but just something good to do between rounds, and go check out the Women Memorabilia Show and have fun at Tulsa, and hopefully it's going to be really nice, good warm weather. And it's warm here today, too.
Yeah, it was great out here.
It feels nice out. There's snows melting everywhere, all that snow we got a couple of days ago. So, and I want to make sure, before I forget to, say a big old happy birthday to Linda Mashik. Linda and Dan Mashik here. They've been huge Iowa Hawkeye wrestling supporters for years and years and years. It's her birthday, and her and Dan are here, and their granddaughter Maddie, who's a wrestling manager for us. She does a phenomenal job. All of our managers do. It's just we're so lucky to have the managers and the staff that we have, headed up by Mariah Marinelli, and we just run a top-notch program around here, and we're very blessed just to be able to throw our bags onto the bus or onto the plane and just go and be part of the entourage. But the guys that make it happen are down on the mat. They're going to be wrestling here later this afternoon, and they're the ones that, when things go and get tough, they're the ones that need to get the job done. I saw another concussion protocol down here, too, just a little while ago. Did you step on the mat down here on Friday when we were in here at all?
A little bit. They are hard.
Very hard.
Yeah.
We've seen 3 concussion protocols in the last 2 days, and we saw Brayton Lee.
Brayton Lee, we think broke his collarbone. We don't know officially, but we think he broke his collarbone.
And then obviously Gomez got DQ'd for the slam, which was a legit slam, 100% legit. But I can't remember. He was wrestling a kid from Maryland, and he got hurt pretty bad. But these mats, there's beautiful cushioning. The Riverside mats, they're beautiful cushioning in there, that nice black foam, but the surface that they've put on top of them is so thick and so hard, it's like you can't get to the cushioning.
Right.
And it's just kind of it's like a barrier to get to the cushioning. These mats are incredibly hard here this weekend.
It's almost like they're new and they need to be used for a while to just kind of break them down a little bit or something.
They need to be heated up. That's what they need to be. I think the surface is just the top barrier. That surface is just too thick and too heavy, and it's just preventing that cushioning to really do its job underneath that surface. It's almost like having concrete on top of cushioning, and if you can't get through the concrete, the cushioning is really not going to do you any good. So in a sport like wrestling, you definitely want some nice cushion mats, and that might be one reason for all the protocols for concussion that we've seen here this weekend and injuries. And like I was talking about earlier, I just hope we can get through the rest of this today with no more major injuries and go into the Big Tens and continue to keep healing and progressing.
Yeah. U.S. Cellular on a mission to find us again by putting down our phones in the Phones Down for 5 challenge. 5 days, 5 hours, even 5 minutes. Find out more at uscellular.com/findus. Well, as I was starting to say, we did talk with Damon John. He is the general manager for Riverside Casino and Golf Resort just south of Iowa City. And we talked to him a little while ago. Since we still have some time to kill, want to replay that interview that we played a little bit yesterday to talk about their partnership and the fact that they are the presenting sponsors for Hawkeye Women's Wrestling. Coach Clarissa Chun and Gary Mayab and the rest of the crew wrestling unattached. They are down in Cedar Rapids today, or this weekend rather, watching the women's national championships, getting ready to hopefully compete there next year. And so they're getting ready to get after it, and Riverside's going to be doing a lot to help present that and have a good partnership for the Hawkeye women's program. So we'll take a timeout. We will come back and replay that interview again just to remind you what Riverside's doing and how they're contributing to that. We'll hear it when we return. Until then, this is the Big Ten Wrestling Championships. You're listening to Hawkeye Wrestling from Learfield.
I want to go on the best game day beer run ever.
New route. Local craft cellar in Cedar Rapids.
Let's go.
For the best selection of craft beer, wine, and spirits, the correct route is Local Craft Cellar. At Local Craft Cellar, find the drink of your choice and the unique items you won't find anywhere else. Plus, local Iowa specialties like your favorite Edgewood Locker brats. You've reached your destination. 7085 C Avenue Northeast in Cedar Rapids. Local Craft Cellar, Eastern Iowa's best selection of craft beer. Please drink responsibly.
I'm in an area called Trade Integration at Pioneer. So what's the trade being integrated? The Enlist E3 trade for soybeans. And what's it being integrated with? That's the big news. The Enlist E3 trait is now integrated with Pioneer's own exclusive and elite genetics. They're called Pioneer Brand A-Series Enlist E3 soybeans, and there are no other soybeans like it on the market. Pioneer Brand A-Series Enlist E3 soybeans, like no other.
Hi, Hawkeye fans. My name is Denali. And I'm Riley. We're still members of your Iowa Hawkeye softball team. During the off-season, conditioning is number one. At Iowa City Tire and Service, they keep our cars in top running condition year-round. And they treat their customers like family. Find them at 410 Kirkwood Avenue or online at ictire.com. Proud sponsors of Hawkeye softball. Iowa City Tire and Service, where service actually comes first. Go Hawks! Woo-hoo!
We're all looking for ways to fight inflation. Choosing Monica's can help. Their portions are big, so you can share your meal with someone in your group and still get plenty. Or just take your leftovers home for a free meal tomorrow. Also, you can always order off the specials menu. Every day there are 2 items on special. And always take advantage of free bread and soft drink refills and happy hour on weekdays. Monica's, a great way to fight inflation.
This is Iowa Hawkeye Wrestling on AM 800 KXIC Iowa City.
Mark your calendars for the iHeartMedia Outdoor Living Show on Saturday and Sunday, March 4th and 5th at Lindale Mall in the former Yonkers space. Exhibitors include spas, lawn and landscape equipment, grills and grilling accessories, and many others. You'll get ideas and find inspiration for your backyard, front porch, patio, deck, lawn, or wherever you find peace. The Master Gardeners will be conducting helpful seminars on several gardening topics. Join us at Lindale Mall on March 4th and 5th at the iHeartMedia Outdoor Living Show, presented by Era Gallery.
Hey, it's Nate Burleson. Check out my new podcast, The Process with Nate Burleson. It debuts with my first guest, Rihanna. Her interview was just a taste of the heat we will bring you here on The Process. I'll talk to A-list celebrities, athletes, and visionaries about their process. What steps did they take to achieve greatness? New episodes of The Process with Nate Burleson drop all year long on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you find your podcasts.
I want to go on the best game day beer run ever.
New route, local craft cellar in Cedar Rapids.
Let's go.
For the best selection of craft beer, wine, and spirits, the correct route is Local Craft Cellar. At Local Craft Cellar, find the drink of your choice and the unique items you won't find anywhere else. Plus, local Iowa specialties like your favorite Edgewood Locker brats. You've reached your destination. 7085 C Avenue Northeast in Cedar Rapids. Local Craft Cellar, Eastern Iowa's best selection of craft beer. Please drink responsibly.
At Oak Knoll, our mission is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served Iowa City for more than 55 years. Our team helps residents create home by living our values of caring, respect, enthusiasm, awareness, teamwork, and encouragement. If you're looking at retirement options, visit our website at oakknoll.com. We want you to lead life your way. Go Hawks!
This is Iowa Hawkeye Wrestling on AM 800 KXIC Iowa City.
We're being joined right now on the line with Damon John. He is the general manager down at the Riverside Casino and Golf Resort, and just recently came to an agreement that Riverside is going to be the presenting sponsor for the Hawkeye women wrestling team. They are wrestling unattached this year, but getting ready to get after it next year and their first full season, and Riverside's going to be on board. Damon, thanks very much for joining us here today. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
So, Damon, before we get started talking a little bit about that partnership with the women's wrestling, just kind of remind folks, what is it that Riverside Casino and Golf Resort offers for the Eastern Iowa community? I mean, it's not just the Riverside Casino. There's a lot more to it.
Definitely a lot more to it. We're located just 15 minutes south of Iowa City. Our resort is a fully integrated resort, meaning it's got a hotel, golf course, a spa, several different restaurants, and 24/7 gaming available.
Well, and I can attest, my wife and I got the couples package a couple years ago for our anniversary. Spa, couples massages, the hotel stay, went to eat. Great all-around experience. Definitely something that people should look into. Also, you guys host some events there, though. I mean, I know I've seen different concerts and whatnot. My cousin just got married there about a year or so ago, and it's just a great all-around place for people to go and just have a good time for a weekend.
Yeah, we have concerts every weekend on our show lounge. Those are complimentary to the public. We have national acts in the event center, both musicians and comedians. We also host several different poker tournaments throughout the year, and anything from dart tournaments to cornhole tournaments to weddings out on our golf course. So truly something for everyone out here.
So with this partnership with the Hawkeye women's wrestling program, why was it that Riverside wanted to jump in and become the presenting sponsor for this next year?
Well, it kind of all started for us back in August of 2022 through our Giving Back promotion at the casino, which is a promotion that allows all of our customers to donate cash at our resort club, and in exchange we give them an equal amount back in free slot play. So it's a donation that comes from the casino, but it's being driven by all of our customers. We chose the women's wrestling program for our Giving Back promotion last August, and we were able to raise $10,000 for that program. Through that promotion, we were able to go check out a wrestling practice with Coach Chun and the entire team, and to say we were impressed is an understatement. We were extremely impressed with the group, the teamwork, the camaraderie around the entire team was just something we were excited about, and we knew we wanted to be a part of it.
So what is it specifically with women's wrestling that really aligns with Riverside Casino and Golf Resort?
Well, being 15 minutes from Iowa City, the Hawkeye Nation is definitely part of our DNA and part of our region's DNA, and the entire community. I can't remember a time where there's been more excitement in the air for a new upstart program. So I know it'll be a big deal for the region and also on the national level. So our guests at Riverside are passionate about their support of the Hawkeyes as well as their local hometown high school teams and we want to embrace that momentum in the area. We anticipate significant excitement around the inaugural team season for women's wrestling, and we can't wait to be a part of it. Any avenue to promote opportunities for girls and women is a cause that Riverside Casino and Golf Resort can get behind.
So I know that a lot of people nationally are looking at NIL, the name, image, and likeness, and that's going to be part of this partnership that you guys have. Talk about how you might utilize some of the Hawkeye women's wrestlers to help promote Riverside and take advantage of some of these opportunities.
Well, we've been involved with a number of great charities and nonprofit organizations throughout eastern Iowa. Those include the Give Foundation, which supports veterans through the sport of golf, Shelter House in Iowa City, Ronald McDonald House, near Carver Hawkeye, and many more. So there will be a number of opportunities for Hawkeye student athletes to help us support these important community relationships.
Excellent. Well, it's exciting. I know that you guys are great partners with the community, and we see a lot of awesome things. You help sponsor some of the stuff here on our broadcast for the men's wrestling. Really looking forward to this partnership being the presenting sponsor for the Hawkeye women as they get their inaugural season underway coming up next year. So, Damon, thank you very much for joining us, and thank you very much for everything you do for the eastern Iowa area.
Yep, we are happy to help, and we can't wait for the first inaugural season.
And that's Damon John. He is the general manager with Riverside Casino and Golf Resort, the presenting sponsor for Hawkeye women, starting with their first season in 2023-2024. We'll take a timeout and be back with more. This is Hawkeye Wrestling from Learfield.
Stock up on your big game essentials with Local Craft Cellar. Local Craft Cellar in Cedar Rapids is your one-stop shop, offering Eastern Iowa's best selection of craft beer, wine, and spirits, plus Edgewood locker meats and a wide variety of Iowa-made products. At Local Craft Cellar, they have the stuff you won't find anywhere else. Stop by today at 7085 C Avenue Northeast in Cedar Rapids. Again, that's 7085 C Avenue Northeast. Please drink responsibly.
Knowing that I can make a difference in my patients' lives keeps me motivated every single day. Hi, I'm Dr. Kanya Ferguson at University of Iowa Healthcare. With academic medicine, we see the toughest cases, so we're always innovating. And we bring the best minds together to collaborate, so there's more brain power focused on you. Because that leads to exceptional care for our patients and our community. See how at uihc.org.
Want to save time and transportation costs? This is Coralville Mayor Megan Foster. Leave the driving to us. Ride the Coralville bus. For $1, Coralville Transit can take you to work, to the mall, to the hospital, even downtown Iowa City. Day or night, the Coralville bus is on the go. The real-time bus app tells you when your bus will arrive. Park and ride options are available too. Leave the driving to us and ride the Coralville bus. For more information, visit coralville.org.
This week on The Marketer's Report, Patrizio Spagnoletto, Global Chief Marketing Officer, Direct-to-Consumer for Warner Brothers Discovery, weighs in on building trust.
Trust is a really hard thing to build and a really easy thing to destroy, and we have to be very respectful about that. Our partnership with iHeart has really helped us build that trust and that relationship with the on-air talent.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives you access to all. Every audience, live conversations, trusted influencers, and the data you need to grow. Go to iHeartResults.com for more.
This is Iowa Hawkeye Wrestling on AM 800 KXIC Iowa City.
Back in Ann Arbor, Stephen Grace, Mark Ironside at the Chrysler Arena inside the Chrysler Center. Getting ready for Consolation semifinal action. Starting to see some of those popping up in the hole, at least for track wrestling, as they're working through all of the ninth place brackets to help qualify automatically several of these weights or even set up some of the at-large bids. No Hawkeyes in those matches, as the Hawkeyes got all 10 automatically qualified. Spencer Lee in the finals. Brody Teskey wrestling for 7th. Real Woods in the finals. Max Muran could finish as high as 3rd. Kobe Seabrecht will be in the 7th place match. Patrick Kennedy is in the finals. Nelson Brands could finish as high as 3rd. Abe Assad will finish in 7th place via medical forfeit. And then Jacob Warner and Tony Cassioppi also both wrestling here this early afternoon in the Consolation semifinals with a chance to finish as high as 3rd in the tournament this year. So looking forward to it. We've got some good wrestling coming up, a lot of great things going on. and definitely seeing these guys that are out here right now, not going to finish on the podium, but they're still giving it their all with a chance to hopefully make it to the NCAA championships down in Tulsa in a week and a half. So we're looking forward to that. Our first Hawkeye that will be up will be Max Muran. He will be in bout number 207. And like I said, right now we've got in the hole 125, 133, 133, 125 Consi semis on deck. So we're getting closer. Going to get to these, and then they're going to start flying hot and heavy. They removed one of the mats. We've got three kind of in a Y shape as we look at it. If you remember yesterday, we had mats 1 and 2 across the arena. Those are in the same spot, and then they removed mat number 4, and they have just centered mat number 3 kind of in between mats 1 and 2 on the near side of the arena. So like a Y, or actually with all the circles, kind of looks like Mickey Mouse. You can tell I've got 3 daughters at home, but just kind of looks like that a little bit and how they've got it set up. So most likely they will have the championship matches on that mat number 3 here on the near side, and then 3rd and 5th place on the other 2. That won't be until 4:30 this afternoon. They are going to be using all 3 of those mats for the Consolation semifinals. Pioneer, developing new generations of seed innovations for new generations of farmers. Boost your yields with leading-edge, locally tested seed. That is Pioneer. What's next happens here. Muran against Thomas, Nelson Brands against Bailey O'Reilly, Jacob Warner against Jackson Smith, and Tony Cassioppi against Lucas Davidson. You got 2 3 versus 4 matchups in this Consolation semifinals. So that is some tough wrestling, but that's the way this tournament is every year. You've got some great guys. I mean, you look 141 pounds. Joseph Zargo of Wisconsin was the number 11 seed coming in, and he finishes in 7th. He got a medical forfeit, but he was able to wrestle above his seed, and he automatically punched his ticket. Starts to throw things into a tizzy just a little bit because they are, only taking 9, I think it is, at 141. He was 11th, finishes in 7th, so that's going to have to open up some wild cards for some of the other guys that qualified. Another situation, 149 pounds, you look, Austin Gomez from Wisconsin. Banged up in the dual meet against Northwestern back in early February. Was here, started wrestling his first match, ended up getting beat, was very hobbled while he was trying to do it, didn't look like himself. Came back in the round of 12 trying to get into that top 8 so he could qualify, and he was actually disqualified for a illegal slam. And so, I'm trying to remember, I don't think he wrestled in that 9th place bracket. Let me pull it up real quick. Yeah, he was here, but he medically forfeited. So he's going to bank on his season credentials rather than trying to go out there and risk further injury to his knee, hoping that he can get a wild card. But it's interesting when you see how some of these go. There's a lot of interesting things that can happen when you get into these qualifying tournaments. So got to be ready to go every time that you step out onto that mat. Again, trying to get a little bit ahead because as soon as we get into these matches, they're probably going to be coming fast and furious. So we're going to step out and take another timeout. We will be back with more from Ann Arbor and the 2023 Big Ten Wrestling Championships right after this. You're listening to Hawkeye Wrestling from Learfield.
Hey everyone, I'm Mark Wahlberg, and I have some exciting news to share. At Wahlburgers, we are all about bringing the family together to enjoy a great meal and have a great time. That's why right now, for a limited time, kids eat free every day at all Hy-Vee Wahlburger locations. Kids 12 and under can enjoy one free kids meal with any purchase of an adult burger, sandwich, or entree salad.
Bring the family to Wahlburgers and the Wahlburgers and Hy-Vee stores, where right now kids can eat free.
The iHeartMedia Outdoor Living Show goes on until 4 today. It's at the Old Yonkers at Lindale Mall, and Era Gallery is the presenting sponsor. Tony is here from Era Gallery. Talk us a little bit about timeline, when people should really be investing in outdoor furniture.
Yeah, you need to plan ahead because especially the cushion furniture, it still takes a while. We have some vendors that if you order now, we won't even get it until June. So we really got to plan ahead. Fire tables and the poly furniture we can get really quickly or have in stock. But the cushion, we got to plan ahead.
So that is crucial to come out to the iHeartMedia Outdoor Living Show today and really touch base with Tony because he can get the process started.
Yes, and we also do free house calls, so we'll come out to your home, take pictures and measurements, and really do the consultation there to tailor it to you and your family.
And that gets it customized to your specific space. Fire tables, cushion patio furniture, also poly furniture, and just check out Tony at the Era Gallery booth at the iHeartMedia Outdoor Living Show today until 4, Old Yonkers at Lindale Mall.
We're all looking for ways to fight inflation. Choosing Monica's can help. Their portions are big, so you can share your meal with someone in your group and still get plenty. Or just take your leftovers home for a free meal tomorrow. Also, you can always order off the specials menu. Every day there are 2 items on special. And always take advantage of free bread and soft drink refills and happy hour on weekdays. Monica's, a great way to fight inflation.
This is Iowa Hawkeye Wrestling on AM 800 KXIC Iowa City.
Asthma symptoms can attack anywhere, like on a city street. Now, you can get fast relief anywhere with new improved Primatene Mist, the only FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. So whether you need relief of symptoms at the park or at your kitchen table, Primatene Mist starts working quickly, opening up your airways to restore free breathing. For temporary relief of mild symptoms of intermittent asthma, use Primatene Mist and breathe easy again. Available at CVS, Rite Aid, and Walgreens. Use as directed.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language? In as little as 3 weeks? Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
I want to go on the best game day beer run ever.
New route. Local craft cellar in Cedar Rapids.
Let's go.
For the best selection of craft beer, wine, and spirits, the correct route is Local Craft Cellar. At Local Craft Cellar, find the drink of your choice and the unique items you won't find anywhere else. Plus, local Iowa specialties like your favorite Edgewood Locker brats. You've reached your destination. 7085 C Avenue Northeast in Cedar Rapids. Local Craft Cellar, Eastern Iowa's best selection of craft beer. Please drink responsibly.
Hey everyone, I'm Mark Wahlberg, and I have some exciting news to share. At Wahlburgers, we are all about bringing the family together to enjoy a great meal and have a great time. That's why right now, for a limited time, kids eat free every day at all Hy-Vee Wahlburger locations. Kids 12 and under can enjoy one free kids meal with any purchase of an adult burger, sandwich, or entree salad.
Bring the family to Wahlburgers and the Wahlburgers and Hy-Vee stores, where right now kids can eat free.
This is Iowa Hawkeye Wrestling on AM 800 KXIC Iowa City.
Welcome back to Chrysler Arena. Stephen Grace, Mark Ironside at the 2023 Big Ten Wrestling Championships as the Hawkeyes about ready to get our first competitor of this session going. Still a little ways out. But Max Muran is in the hole on mat number 3. Mat number 3 right now has our first 125 pounds consolation semifinal matchup. And it is a good one. The number 3 seed Matt Ramos of Purdue against the number 5 seed Patrick McKee of Minnesota. That one could be a boring 2-1 kind of score, or it could be an exciting 25-24 kind of score, and anything in between. It is going to be interesting to see how that one shakes out. So far, it is scoreless, but both those guys like to let the fur fly. Still have the other two mats, have the 9th place brackets going on. So a little bit of time before Muran comes out, but we'll keep an eye on these. We said for those in the team score, top 7 coming into the day. Northwestern 7th with 64. Michigan in 6th with 67. They actually had 3 more bonus points than Northwestern, so that's spelling the difference right now. Minnesota in 5th with 73. Ohio State in 4th with 77. Nebraska 3rd with 98.5. Iowa in 2nd with 108.5. And Penn State in 1st with 120. So might see some movement around in some of those spots. There's Ramos with a takedown against McKee right at the very end of the first period. It's going to bring our other 125-pound bout out on mat number 1 as the heavyweights get done.
That's a big match right down there between McKee and Ramos.
Yeah. Mat number 1, you've got the number 4 seed Barnett of Wisconsin and the number 6 seed DeAugustino of Northwestern.
Sorry, Steven, I went to the restroom and I got a bottle of water and I got to talking with the Big Ten guys, kind of like cornered me, and they're asking me all about like Spencer and Real and Patrick, and just trying to get probably some good tidbit behind the scenes type stuff for the broadcast. I was like, hey, speaking of broadcast, I gotta go. Okay, Steven's up there solo right now. I'm sure he's lost without me, wondering where I'm at, wondering if I fell in or what. I said, I better get back up there.
No, I just took a page out of your book. I just kept playing commercials. Muran is in the hole on mat number 3, so one more match after Ramos and McKee, and then it'll be Max Muran. That one is a 2-1 lead right now for Ramos. Ramos in on a shot on McKee. No score with DeAugustino and Barnett.
Ramos 2-1 still in favor of Ramos here. Shot by McKee. How about Spencer wrestling McKee last night or last night? That was a whooping.
Yeah.
Against a really, really good Patrick McKee. McKee's got to be a senior by now, right?
I think so, yeah. He's been around for a while. That's just kind of the thing with Spencer. I mean, yeah, there's been different times where, he's coming off an injury and, maybe the gas tank isn't quite there and he can get a big lead and then maybe fade. But, I mean, he just kept pushing the pace last night. And the other impressive thing by him was, he changed things up. He couldn't get his tilt, so he adjusted to pulling the chicken wing back across the other way. Found different ways to score, different ways to use his defense and his offense at the same time. And that's what makes Spencer so good is he doesn't get phased. He doesn't get rattled. He stays comfortable in a lot of positions.
Well, we saw that against Ramos during the regular season, He's down, 8-1, and comes back and takes the lead, and then gets the fall all within the first period. There's a lot of wrestling to be done in a wrestling match. 7 minutes is a long time when you're out there. If you're a lot of time to score points, if you're willing to work at and score points, but it's also not very much time if you absolutely do really nothing. You just kind of stand around and wait till the last 30 seconds, and all of a sudden now you only got 30 seconds to score a takedown to win. So you got to manage that clock and wrestle that whole entire 7 minutes and then some. And like you said, that's what was great about Spencer last night is, versus the dual meet, which we talked about on air last night, when he got that 6-1 lead at the end of the first period of the dual meet, he just shut down. And McKee didn't come at him, and it was really a boring match after that. Not last night. Spencer Lee stayed on the attack. He kept shooting, even though he was a little bit tired, and he was, but he kept moving his feet, and he got in another shot, got back on top, really nice shot, and that's the difference in some stamina and some conditioning from, 3/4 of the way through the season until now. He just keeps getting, and that's why it was good for him to go those 3-minute period or those 3 periods, full 3 periods of full match against a guy like McKee earlier in the season, is that's what he really kind of needed instead of just coming out and getting these 40, 50-second falls all the time. And that kind of helps him come tournament time in these big matches.
Well, it was funny because after the Okie State match, I was down. I'd taken the equipment down to the wrestling room so they could load it and bring it here with us. And Spencer was leaving the lounge area, and I just said, Spencer, what'd you do? Because remember, he hit that cartwheel.
Yeah.
And he's like, what happened was he used a move that I invented, and it made me mad. And I cartwheeled and just came through, and I just caught him. And then he's like, it was just a cartwheel. And then he stops, and he looks. He's like, but I practiced that. I work on that. And it was almost like, you know what? I find ways to put myself into a tough position, so that if I get into that in an actual match, I'm prepared for it. And again, that's where he's so good, is he finds ways to know and anticipate what's coming and find ways to get out of different situations.
So he knew that Whitcraft hit that move before going into the dual meet, before into the match. He already knew that he would go for that move.
I don't know if he knew that, but he said that he had practiced if somebody tried doing something like that, how to come out of it with that cartwheel. So it's just finding those different situations of, when you get there, it's one thing if I know how to hit a left-handed high crotch, and I can hit a left-handed high crotch, and then I know you're going to hit the left-handed high crotch, and I can sprawl. But then if you hit a sweep, how do I defend that? And if you go front headlock, how do I defend that? And, just making yourself a well-rounded wrestler.
Well, he is definitely a well-rounded wrestler, and the thing about Spencer is he just so good at reactions. You don't have time to think when you're out on a wrestling mat. It's like I always say, you always want to be the actor, not the reactor, because you don't have a whole lot of time to think. And if you think about something, you think about hitting a shot, that shot's, or you see it, it's pretty much already gone. Everything is based off of a feel. Mat awareness. Man, look at this match down here between McKee and Ramos.
I said I could see that one being anywhere between 2-1 to 25-24. And it was 2-1. But it was an exciting match.
2-1 in favor of Ramos. And McKee came at him. But that's a perfect example. McKee came at him hard in that last 30 seconds. But where was that in the first 30 seconds?
Right. Mat number 1, DeAugustino and Barnett are tied up at 2. DeAugustino does have riding time in that one as the second period comes to an end. Mat number 2, no score as our first 133-pound match getting underway. That is Ragusan of Michigan against Bird of Illinois. And our other 33-pound matchup, the 4-seed Cannon of Northwestern against the number 2-seed Mendez of Ohio State, coming out on mat number 3. Cannon knocked Brody Teskey down to the 7th place match.
I still think that his eye had, and I'm not trying to make excuses for him. Maybe I am, but I'm not, because I don't care about excuses, as Spencer says. But I think that hindered his wrestling a little bit. That eye being stitched up and having to get stitches between matches last night, and having it taped up, and because they were just getting in on him so deep and so fast, and Brody didn't even look like he could see them even shooting on him last night after that eye happened. Right. And I've been there. The exact same thing happened to me at the national tournament one year, and they taped my eye up, and it kind of pushed down into my eye, and I was wrestling a guy by the name of Michael Leitner at the time in the quarterfinals of nationals, and finally about halfway through that match, I said, cut this thing off. He was in on doubles, and the only reason I knew is because he was there already. I couldn't even see it, really, because things happen so fast, and it's hard to fight those shots off, and that same thing was happening to Teskey last night. Those guys were getting in so deep, so deep on him, and picking it up right away. There's nothing he could do defensively. So I don't know if it was really just the tape job, or he just wasn't used to it, just kind of throwing him off a little bit, kind of blurring up his peripheral a little bit. But he just didn't look himself last night against Cannon, for sure, and the match before that.
Is that something that could potentially heal between now and NCAA's?
Well, the swelling goes down. When we went back to the hotel last night, I was walking down the hallway, and Teskey was out in the hallway, and his eye was almost swollen shut. It was swelling up. So, yeah, it's going to help a lot. Not only the wrap and then it getting cut and dinged or whatever, but the swelling of the eye. It was just completely puffed over, and it was almost swollen shut last night. And it's just kind of hard to see, in a situation like that. That's why, in boxing, they stop a fight if a guy can't see out of that eye. They'll make him close the other eye or put your hand over it and then see if you can still see out of the eye. If you can't, then match is getting stopped because you can't protect yourself.
Right. Dodge Street Tire and Auto, locally owned and operated, and voted best of the area for the 10th consecutive year. is proud to support Hawkeye Wrestling. Trust Dodge Street Tire for honest auto repair and the best deals on Goodyear and Toyo tires. Dodge Street Tire and Autos celebrating over 30 good years on the corner of Dodge and Church Streets in Iowa City.
De Agostino wins.
Rematch, De Agostino and Ramos for third place. De Agostino majored Ramos in the quarterfinals. And it'll be a rematch between Barnett and McKee. McKee actually pinned Barnett in the quarterfinals. Cannon with injury time down there. He's wrestling Mendez. Mat number 1, you've got Tal Shahar of Northwestern and De Emilio of Ohio State just getting underway, 141 pounds. Bird of Illinois, a 3-0 lead, final 20 seconds of the second period as he's taking on Ragusin of Michigan. Right now, Mendez leading Cannon 2-1. Almost looks like Mark might be... I don't know, it is injury time. I couldn't tell. It might have been another concussion thing.
I think he got either cut or bloody nose or...
Oh, but they got the injury clock running. But they're like doing a finger test almost like it's concussion. They're checking the back of his neck like it's... But they shouldn't have the injury clock if it's a concussion thing.
No.
Unless they're worried that it was like, he hit his head somehow, that something else.
I don't know,
that's
but
what Matt Storniolo's saying. He's like, this should be concussion, not injury.
Tom Ryan's down there kind of arguing with the referees a little bit. And
so now they do waive the
injury time
and say, yes, it is concussion, not injury.
But I don't think it was anything that was illegal I didn't see it. I heard it. And all the fans go, oh, but I don't think it was anything illegal. And I think Tom Ryan was pleading his case from Mendez down there just by the way that they were laying, like right as I turned my head to look at it when it happened, like it just happened. It didn't look like it was they were in a position where it would have been like an illegal slam or anything like that. It looked to me like they just came down somewhere at the same time, and top of Mendez's head hit Cannon's like right in the forehead or whatever, and it just kind of that's what happens in sport of wrestling sometimes. And I don't think that was from the mat either. I think they just literally hit heads. Bird just got called for stalling over there. That's a big match over there. Mat number 2. Ragusin is trailing Bird. Ragusin of Michigan is trailing Bird of Illinois 4-1 right now. That's in the third period with a minute to go.
Looks like Cannon's going to keep going. They don't take him into the back.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure what's really going on here.
Well, I think they can do an initial assessment on the mat, and if they say, yeah, no, it's not a concussion, then you can go. Or if they say, we're not quite sure, that's where they take them in the back, and they do some other like light sensitivity tests and things like that. So...
Back underway on mat number 3, Mendez with the 2-1 lead over Cannon from Northwestern.
Looks like Bird is going to get the win over there. Ragusin's got double overs.
What time do we go on air for? What time do the finals start here? Our time.
They start 4:30.
4:30.
So 3:30 back in Iowa City. So Bird does win over Ragusin. That's going to bring a new match out there. I believe that's Phileas of Purdue against Bo Bartlett of Penn State. Waiting on.
So Cannon and Mendez are back at it here. Mendez, the number 2 seed of Ohio State, taking on the number 4 seed from Cannon, from Northwestern. That one's 2-1 right now in favor of Mendez from Ohio State. It's only the first period as it comes to an end. Bartlett of Penn State up there on mat number 2. That's at 141 pounds. He's taking on Phileas of Purdue. Phileas of Purdue is who Real Woods wrestled in the quarterfinals, and Real Woods pinned him. Was that in a cradle? Do I remember right?
Yes, I believe so.
Mat number 1 over there. It's in the second period, 141 pounds. Tal Shahar of Northwestern. That's who Real Woods wrestled in the semifinals last night. He's taking on D'Amelio of Ohio State. D'Amelio is winning that one by a score of 3-1. All the matches out on the mats right now. Good matches, good kids, good wrestlers. Nice shot right there by Mendez of Ohio State against Cannon, but Cannon did a great job. Toe to the mat. Wizard pulled it up off the leg. Mendez trying to come up over the front for like a cement mixer, trying to torque him on over, but Mendez doing a good job. Cannon doing a good job getting off the mat there. Bartlett had an awesome match yesterday in the semifinals with Hardy of Nebraska, which is who Real Woods will be wrestling in the finals here today at 141 pounds.
7-3, Hardy ended up winning that one.
It's a great match, though.
Yeah. Win some sweet seats for the National College Basketball Tournament in Des Moines or a Minnesota Timberwolves game in Minneapolis. Enter non-winning Money Madness or Tripler scratch tickets in the VIP Club. Find more info at ialottery.com. 30 seconds left, second period. Still 2-2 down there between Cannon and Mendez. No score on mat 2 between Bartlett and Phileas. And 3-1 is the lead for D'Amelio, the number 9 seed at 141 for Ohio State, over the number 4 seed, Frankie Tal Shahar of Northwestern. I got it over here if you want.
Well, I got to look that way.
Got it pulled up over there, too?
Yeah.
That works. Trying to keep an eye on the Hawkeye men playing at Carver Hawkeye Arena.
Big game for them today. Senior Day in Iowa City.
Mendez in on a shot on Cannon. They went neutral in the third period. Mendez got Cannon draped up, trying to swim through the back door. Go to a stalemate, get back after it. Bartlett scoreless at the end of 1. He's putting on a tough ride on Phileas 30 seconds into the second period over there. And D'Amelio 5-2 lead now on Tal Shahar.
D'Amelio with the 3-point lead and drags number 1 in the third period.
All sorts of stuff going on today in the sports world, Steven. You got the men's basketball game against Nebraska coming up here. Just about ready to start. That's in Iowa City. Fred Hoiberg and Nebraska program in town for the last conference game of the season before they start their Big Ten tournament. If Iowa wins this game here today against Nebraska, Iowa will be the number 2 seed in the Big Ten tournament, which would be a big deal.
It's impressive. Especially the way they started their conference year 0-3 and didn't look very good doing so.
And then you got the women coming up today, and obviously in their Big Ten final championship game against Ohio State. And that one starts at what time? Our time?
I think 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock our time?
5 o'clock our time, I believe.
4 o'clock Iowa time.
Cannon with the takedown over there against Mendez.
20 seconds to go on 3.
Got the NASCAR race on TV today starting at 1 o'clock, I believe, Iowa time. It's out in Las Vegas. Got the Big Ten Wrestling Championships going on here. It's almost kind of like watching 4 mats at once. There's just too much stuff going on at one time. Bartlett of Penn State still tied up 0-0 in the second period with Phileas. No, one point escape for Phileas, so now he leads 1-0. Bartlett has 1:09 riding time. Cannon does win that one over Mendez. Here comes Max Muran.
Muran against Yaya Thomas. Again, that was 3-2 in the dual meet this year. Last year at the Big Ten, you remember Max got a late stall call and then a takedown and came away with a 6-5 win at the Big Tens. Also won 4-3 in the dual meet last year. Problem Max had this year was he kind of let Yaya control the pace at Carver. Made Max to really push it, get Yaya tired, and just start chipping away a little bit earlier.
Who in between Tal Shahar and De Emilio?
De Emilio was ahead big. Let me pop back over and see. De Emilio did.
Nice shot right there by
Yeah,
Thomas. He's in deep on a double, and then Muran is able to pull him up to his legs, pull him up higher, and then get up to a single leg, and now he just pulled him off of his leg. That was a good job. Good defense right there by Max Muran, because Yaya Thomas was in pretty deep right there, but Muran threw that hip in wizard and pulled him up his legs, got him off both legs onto one leg, and then was able to toe us down to the mat and kind of hip in a little bit and break that grip.
Bartlett looks like he got a takedown in the second period and now an escape to start the third. He leads 3-1, plus he's got 1:13 of riding time on mat number 2 for Penn State. Halfway through the first period, no score for Max Muran for the Hawkeyes and Yaya Thomas for Northwestern.
Well, this is such a big match for Max Muran here. There's a nice double right there by Muran. He's driving through, and no points. Thomas went to throw, like lateral throw. Muran was driving him through right there on the edge, and then Muran went into the scorer's table.
Yaya's actually down injured.
Yeah, Yaya's getting injury time right now. I don't know if he hit his head on the floor or hurt his shoulder. I have no idea, but
Concussion protocol again.
He's flat on the mat. He's like hurting bad. That's a beautiful double leg by Max Muran. He just kept trying to suck those legs in to pull those legs into him, and he kept driving, doing all the right things, but Yaya Thomas just kept backpedaling, and then boom, hits a throw right as they go on the edge. And the reason I think he hit that throw right there is just so it's kind of like he couldn't circle because he didn't have his feet under him, so it was kind of the attempt so he didn't get called for stalling right there for just kind of like going out of bounds. Look at this. Phileas just take down Bartlett.
Bartlett's got riding time, though.
Only 5 seconds to go. Yeah, only 5 seconds to go. Bartlett has 1:10 riding time.
Try to get a takedown in 5 seconds. So Bartlett is going to win that.
5-3, your winner from Penn State, Bartlett.
It's going to bring out Soldati of Michigan State and Will Luan of Michigan on mat number 2. Mat number 1, Van Ness of Penn State has a 2-1 lead over Rooks of Indiana. That is who Max Muran will wrestle later in the evening session. Either the winner of that or the loser of that, depending on how Max does. Still working on Yaya Thomas down there in the concussion protocol.
Let me get my binos here, Steve, and see what's going on with Yaya Thomas. He's on his knees, and he's looking down at the mat. Trainers are down there looking at him. I'm telling you, I think it's definitely concussion.
Yeah, the trainer right away, fist to her forehead and saying, hey, this is concussion protocol.
Like, he is not moving his head at all. Like, his head is just sitting, like, looking down. Like, he does not want to move. He looks like he's praying, to be honest. I mean, I don't think he's praying, but that's the position he looks like he was in for a long time. But now he's up to his feet. And he looks dazed big time. Yeah, he's off. He's walking off the mat.
Now, we'll see if that's to go back and check or if that's going to be...
He does not look like he is going to be in any kind of condition to come back just by the way. So what he's going to do is he's going to go off the mat. Now, how crazy is this to happen to Max Muran two times now?
Yeah.
I was telling Max, actually right before this session, I was down in the camp for a little bit and said, hey, we had great filler time yesterday. So I was able to talk about our plane ride discussions on the way out and some of the stories and stuff. And he goes, hey, you didn't tell him the one about. I was like, no, I left that one out. I didn't say anything, but here we are again. And, man, I'd like to keep telling stories about Max Muran, but we were laughing so hard. And Warner was sitting right there, too. And he's like, wait, what? You did what? What happened? So then it was so great because Muran started telling the story all over again. And I was laughing so hard again, I was almost crying. Oh, my goodness. I know it's kind of like a teaser. I feel bad for the viewers or listeners listening in, but Muran's a character, such a great great kid. And the one I did talk about yesterday a little bit was, if you weren't listening, is about how he was you get all the different clubs in school, and you got like National Honor Society and Student Council and different things, and he always liked chess, so he started his own chess club and obviously nominated himself to be president of the chess club. And he used to make everybody wear suit and ties too when they came to play chess as well too. Like they had to dress up for suit and ties to go to school to play chess as part of their club. That's Classic. If you're in the club, you had to dress up. But the other stories are way better.
So in other words, I need to find Max on the plane ride home tonight and say, hey, fill me in on what Ironside couldn't say on air.
Yeah, for sure. And it was funny because Warner's like, how did I not know this about you? But if you know Muran and once he tells it, then it 100% totally makes sense.
Oh, yeah. I can only imagine. Main Street Sweets has been serving great ice cream and food in the heart of downtown West Branch for over 10 years, offering great burgers, tenderloins, cheese balls, and more, along with many awesome ice cream treats. Order online, call ahead, or stop in to visit. Main Street Sweets, owned and operated by my wife Jessica and me, on the web at mainstreetsweetswb.com. Van Ness of Penn State a minute ago, leading 7-3.
Yeah, he's whipping up on Rooks of Indiana pretty good.
And then the other one is Saldate of Michigan State and Luan of Michigan.
That should be a good match. Saldate's had a great tournament.
Yeah.
I just informed from Jenny Mitchell, Gable, that the Iowa baseball team actually is beating Pepperdine right now 7-1.
Wow. I knew they played Pepperdine today. I couldn't remember what time it was. They're down in Alabama. The men looked like they were down 16-9, I think, at the first commercial break. Yeah, Van Ness just toying with Rooks over there now. He's going to get a major decision. That's going to be 4.5 points for the Nittany Lions. That'll put them, with the win for Bartlett, they're at 123.5, and then they'll get 4.5 more here, so that'll put them up to 128. Looking at some of the other team scores. Nebraska still third, Ohio State into fourth. Ohio State has jumped up to 80.5. Minnesota hanging on to fifth with 72. Northwestern has moved ahead of Michigan into sixth place with 71. You could see Minnesota and Northwestern kind of going back and forth. Minnesota 2 in the finals, 5 in the wrestlebacks. Northwestern, no finalists, but they have 7 going in the consolation round still.
Iowa basketball team trailing Nebraska right now, 16-9. Here still early in the first quarter.
Nelson Brand's on deck on mat number 1. Again, we're still in concussion protocol. Max Muran and Yaya Thomas. Thomas going back to the evaluation room in the tunnel underneath the arena to get looked at.
And I don't know where he got hurt. Like Muran hit that double leg and was driving through him really hard in a beautiful double. And as they were going out of bounds, Thomas kind of had an over-under situation, tried to lateral drop him and threw Max Muran, but not to his back. Max Muran actually just went kind of flying into the bottom skirting of the table, the scores table. But I don't know if when he threw him then, Thomas's head hit the hardwood floor or what. It was just kind of happened so fast and over there, so we couldn't tell. But it definitely was the forehead, like the front of his head. But I don't know if the front of his head could have really hit the floor unless he turned that hard that fast. I don't know. Yeah. But Thomas did not look good when he walked off. He definitely looked dazed. And Stornolio, the head coach from Northwestern, I'm sure is going to say, you know what, let's just call it good for the day and get this thing healed up. And
there he comes out of the tunnel.
Stornolio comes out right away and he says, no, we're done. Yeah, I think that's definitely the right move with Nationals coming up next competition. And so Max Muran will move on. Winner by medical forfeit now over Thomas.
So that'll be 5.5 points for the Hawkeyes. That'll put them up to 114.
Man, that's 2 matches in one tournament that you win over concussion. That's just crazy.
As we await Nelson Brands, the next Hawkeye, to come out against Bailey O'Reilly. Let's step out for another quick timeout. We'll be back with more from Ann Arbor right after this. You're listening to Hawkeye Wrestling from Learfield.
Hawk fans, stop in and visit Hyatt Regency Coralville Hotel and Conference Center, located in the heart of Iowa River Landing. It's within walking distance to Extreme Arena, home of the Iowa Hawkeye volleyball team, as well as some great restaurants, shopping, and scenic walking trails along the Iowa River. Hyatt Regency Coralville is also the home of the Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffrey radio show. Come find your place at Hyatt Regency, where we care for people so they can be their best.
The iHeartMedia Outdoor Living Show presented by Era Gallery. It goes on until 4 today at the former Yonkers in Lindale Mall. Tony is here from Era Gallery. Fire tables. These are really nice. They extend your outdoor season when it gets cool and chilly on both ends of summer. And Tony, this is something you really got to see to believe, right?
Yeah, especially with ours. I work really hard trying to find unique artistic ones. So each fire table, in addition to producing a lot of heat with ours, they're pieces of art. You look out the window and look at it and it looks like a piece of art. They're made of things of stucco and granite and reinforced concrete.
And I would imagine you can customize it into any outdoor space that anybody might have.
Yeah, all different shapes and sizes, round, rectangle, linear. We even do some in screened-in rooms.
So it's just not throwing some logs on the fire. It's gotten a lot more sophisticated with fire tables.
Yeah, very tailored in terms of even colored gems. The outside finishes can be changed.
Tony from Era Gallery, come out and see him at the iHeartMedia Outdoor Living Show going on today at 4, Old Yonkers location, Lindale Mall.
We're all looking for ways to fight inflation. Choosing Monica's can help. Their portions are big, so you can share your meal with someone in your group and still get plenty. Or just take your leftovers home for a free meal tomorrow. Also, you can always order off the specials menu. Every day there are 2 items on special. And always take advantage of free bread and soft drink refills and happy hour on weekdays. Monica's, a great way to fight inflation.
This is Iowa Hawkeye Wrestling on AM 800 KXIC, Iowa City.
Back in Ann Arbor, the 2023 Big Ten Wrestling Championships. Michigan crowd excited. Will Luan winning a sudden victory match, surprisingly.
Shocker. I don't know what Michigan State's throwing the Cuban for to challenge, though.
Well, so Luan initiated a scramble, and they initially called 2 for the takedown.
Well, Sadate took a shot, a bad shot.
Yeah.
Off of kind of like a reaction to Luan's kind of a half shot, and then Sadate took another kind of a full shot, really out of position, bad. And Luan went around behind. They scrambled, thought he had the takedown, but Sadate was able to scramble out of it and kept fighting, but then Luan ended up covering the hips and getting a full-fledged takedown, but I'm not really sure.
Well, I wonder if they threw it initially when they called the 2 and then waved it off. If they were throwing it before they waved off the 2 would be the only thing I can think.
Yeah. I don't know.
Because then they talked about it and they ended up not reviewing it because they're like, no, there was a clear takedown there. So, match is going on right now. Mat number 1, 165 pounds. Carson Harchlow of Ohio State, a 5-2 lead over Mayfield of Northwestern. Mat number 2 will be Amin of Michigan against Wilson of Nebraska. And then on mat number 3 at 157 pounds is Coleman of Purdue against Chumbley of Northwestern. Score big savings. Shop online at HighVdeals.com. Hy-Vee proud to support Hawkeye Wrestling. Coleman and Chumbley going to second period. Chumbley will start down. Chumbley the 8 seed, Coleman the 3 seed.
Yeah, a good buddy of mine from back home, Green Baker, he just sent me a video of that where Yaya Thomas threw Muran there, and it looks like the back of his head cracked on the hardwood floor there. So thanks for sending that over, Grain. We don't get the opportunity to see replays up here, but yeah, that's what it was. That's just crazy that Muran had two
of those in one tournament. I want to give a shout out to Dirk Keller, normally sits in front of us, sent me a text message, appreciates the coverage we've been providing, not only of the wrestling, but also the women's basketball. Now we've got some men's basketball.
Tied it up, 18-18 now. Three-pointer out from McCaffrey.
So I think what we need to do, we need to have you and Bobby Hansen have a game of horse to see who's going to be the wrestling announcer, and then have like a 3-minute wrestling period to see who's going to be the basketball announcer.
Well, I tell you right now, I am not winning no games of horse. I do have a little bit of time, though. We need to talk about the Dan Gable Wrestling Museum, the Glen Bryan Hall of Fame, the introductions this year. That's actually going to be held on June 23rd. And lots of familiar names and faces going into the Hall of Fame this year. The inductees, Rachel Waters is one of them. She wrestled at Oklahoma City University, but then trained for the Hawkeye Wrestling Club for a while. John Reeder, we're very familiar with, of Iowa State. Assistant coach at Wisconsin, or Bono. Nate Gallick of Iowa State. Great wrestler as well. And then one that we're all familiar with is Big O, John Osendorf.
Nichols, Iowa.
From Nichols, Iowa. Wrestling coach at Coe College.
I say that just because one of the early years I was doing this and was walking down to go interview Coach Brands, and Gable was up in the stands. He's like, "Hey, Grace." So I went up and sat and talked to him. I think it was the Iowa City Duels, and Coe College was there. And I said something about, Coach Ostendorf, West Liberty, because that's where he went to school. He's like, "No, Nichols, Iowa." So Coach Gable doesn't forget.
And I know Nichols, that little 4-way stop running through there. I can't remember the name of that highway coming through there.
22.
Going through Nichols. I actually bought a boat there once off of John Osendorf's dad that he got at a car auction. He got a boat, and I still have that boat today.
Really?
It's my fishing boat.
There you go.
But yeah, John Osendorf going into that. The Big O, he was a heavyweight. I think he graduated in 93 from college, if I remember right. And then Lenny Zaleski, Cedar Rapids Prairie graduate, University of Iowa graduate, longtime coach, many different colleges, UC Davis before they dropped the program, and then Cal Baptist, and now he's retired and living up in Montana, but just a phenomenal, great guy from a great family, Lenny Zaleski. The team inductee for the 1975 University of Northern Iowa team is the D2 NCAA Wrestling Championship team. That's from the Northern Iowa. In 1975, Russ Smith, listen to it, the Russ Smith Community Impact Award, someone you and I are very familiar with.
Heard this guy talk on our airwaves a time or two.
Josh Schamberger.
Congrats to Shammy.
Josh Schamberger, the Russ Smith Community Impact Award. And, man, I tell you what, if anybody deserves a Community Impact Award, it would be Josh Schamberger from the Iowa City Area Sports Commission. Those guys do a phenomenal job there, his entire team and staff, and putting on all the wrestling events and other high school events and different things going on in the Extreme Arena over there. Great things are happening in the Iowa City Coralville area and Wrestling Town, USA. Apparel comes from, stemmed from Josh Hamburger. So congratulations to him. And the Bobson's High School Wrestling Coach of the Year is going out to Mark Ryland. So I'm sure his dad and family, Marv, will be accepting that honor, and his late wife, Michelle, will take that award as well. And then it's also followed up by Bob Bowlesby, the Bowlesby Family Legacy Award is going to the Hinchberger and Schiedenhelm's families. Hinchbergers, I believe, are out of the Belle Plaine area. Quite a few Hinchbergers in that area. But it's also followed up by a golf outing on Friday, June 23rd. There's an evening, like a social the night before, and a golf outing at Prairie Links Golf and Event Center. It's really fun. They get a lot of, it's called the Dan Gable Celebrity Golf Outing. It takes place earlier in the day. You get a lot of foursomes. So many who's of who of wrestling are there, and they have foursomes, and it's like a celebrity golf outing to where a different celebrity will come and play with a foursome from a business, and it's a fundraiser for the Dan Gable Wrestling outing. But that's taking place on Friday, June 23rd at Prairie Links Golf Course in Waverly, Iowa. It's a great event, great time. I've golfed in it many, many times. It actually started over in Newton, Iowa, is where that thing originally started, over there with Mike Chapman over there in Newton. So, but if anybody wants any more information on any of that, within the information about the Glen Brand tickets or golf outing and foursomes or whatever, please call the Dan Gable Wrestling Museum for more information. But it's a phenomenal couple of days and events, and great time to catch up from different wrestlers, male, female, families from all spectrums of the sport, and it's just good for the sport and the Dan Gable Wrestling Museum up there in Waterloo.
Nelson Brand's out on the mat. Been keeping an eye on it while Mark was talking. A lot of snaps from Nelson, but no action from he or Bailey O'Reilly, the number 4 seed out of Minnesota. Approaching 1 minute to go here in the first period. Nelson came in as the 7 seed. Needed to finish 7th in order to automatically qualify. He's got a chance with a win here to finish as high as 3rd. Other matches, Amin and Wilson, 30 seconds to go, tied up at 1. And we've got blood and or injury time down here on mat 3. Chumbley of Northwestern, a takedown, so he leads Kendall Coleman 3-1.
This mat down here at mat number 3, if I was wrestling right now, I would not want to be on mat 3.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a match that's been today without some form of an injury time on that mat. Nice shot right over there. Who is that? Mat number 2, Wilson of Nebraska.
But Amin hips into him. Wilson adjusts, and the period comes to an end, so it's going to sudden victory.
Shocker! Another one, Amin, another overtime. And a very high-scoring match of 1-1. It's about time the Michigan fans start yelling at Wilson for stalling right now.
Nelson Brand scoreless at the end of 1. O'Reilly will start down to begin the second period. Coleman and Chumbley getting after it on mat number 3. Caution on O'Reilly on mat number 1, starting early as he starts down against Nelson Brands. Got to get the clock reset.
Shot by Wilson on the edge, shoots off. He shoots off Amin. Nelson does a good job, picks up O'Reilly and puts him down hard right there. Riding O'Reilly tough. Now, originally, Jason Wedgbury called Nelson Brands for locked hands, but then waved it off immediately. Becker of Minnesota wants to throw the cube in so that they review that. That's going to go back to the locked hands call if that stands. The referee's going to talk this over on if he had locked hands or not. Amin and Wilson still tied up 1-1 here. They're just back up on the feet. Amin on a shot on the edge, and they're going to go out of bounds. Wow, what a match between these two.
New match on mat number 3, Edmund Ruth of Illinois, Ethan Smith of Ohio State.
Who won that between Chumbley and Coleman, did you see?
Chumbley did, 3-1.
20 seconds to go in sudden victory.
Nice shot right there by Wilson, but it couldn't get anywhere. Now he's into double unders, trying to inside trip on Amin. Amin backing up. Now he goes to bear hugs. Now Amin takes him down on a reshot, right on the edge.
Wilson did the splits, though, and they'll go to the tiebreakers. Nelson must have a cut on his head because during this video review, they are taping up his forehead.
I think that one's been going on for, it's just something there's been before.
Updated team standings, Penn State 128, Iowa 114, Nebraska still at 98.5.
Since Amin had his choice in the second period, he went down first. He gets his choice, and he scored the escape first. He gets his choice or up or top or bottom. He chooses down.
They want a stall call for Wilson running him out of bounds, even though Amin was trying to kick away.
So he's got to ride. So right now, Wilson has to ride Amin to win this, and Amin has to get out to win. Whoever wins in this 30 seconds, that is it here.
No, I think this is just the first set of tiebreakers, so they each
I
get
thought they
30.
already went one. No?
Oh, locked hands call. Nebraska's going to challenge that. Speaking of locked hands, no locked hands against Nelson Brands. Now Bailey O'Reilly gets the escape. So O'Reilly leads Nelson Brands 1-0. Minute 10 to go here in the second period.
Wow, that'd be a really big point for Amin if that call stands. Nelson Brands trailing 1-0 right now as O'Reilly got his escape. Nelson has, let me see the binos here, 30 seconds built towards his riding time.
Nelson's been doing a lot of good hard snaps, but hasn't followed through with anything yet. Another one right there. Riley's got a brace on that left knee. Don't think he had that when we wrestled up in Minneapolis.
That was like 3 weeks ago. I can't remember. Iowa men's basketball team leading Nebraska 33-30 right now, with 3:48 left to go in the first half.
Smith of Ohio State a takedown against Edmund Ruth.
Second period is going to come to an end over there between Nelson and O'Reilly of Minnesota. Nelson's going to choose down to start the third period. I think they waved off the locked hands call on Amin, or I mean on a Wilson of Nebraska. They took it away.
Nelson starts down against O'Reilly. O'Reilly goes into that claw ride. Nelson up to his feet, out for the escape. So we're tied up at 1. They have to go back to where the locked hands was called, so they go back to 24 seconds in that overtime period.
That's what I was saying earlier. That doesn't go. That's going to go back to that time.
Let's go, Nelson Brands. Let's get a shot and a takedown and get a win. Another challenge. Michigan thinks there was locked hands again.
I thought I saw locked hands that time. Even from up here, I thought I saw locked hands on Wilson right there. And Amin was like throwing his arms up in the air saying, hey, come on, he's got his hands locked. That time I really think I saw locked hands on Wilson. All right, Nelson, we got 1 minute to go. It's tied up 1-1.
There's Nelson, a shot down on the ankle. Now gets O'Reilly draped up over his back. Trying to come through the back door. O'Reilly hanging onto our ankles. Nelson trying to turn to his left. Posting that left arm. O'Reilly trying to get heavy with those hips back towards Nelson. Now Nelson turning back to his right.
Oh, dang it. Come on, we want to be able to finish this.
They're going to stalemate it.
I think it was a good stalemate. They weren't going anywhere. Nelson kind of stopped wrestling in that position right there.
It's the first time either guy's touched the opponent's legs in this match. 30 seconds to go in regulation. Snap, front headlock for Nelson. But couldn't get around behind as O'Reilly squares back up with him. 10 seconds to go. A double leg attempt by O'Reilly. We able to sprawl back, but couldn't get it behind. And we're going to go to a 1-1 sudden victory over there for Nelson. They do confirm the locked hands.
I swear I did see him locked from up here. I thought Wilson did have his hands locked that time.
Just finish it on your feet, Nelson, like you did against Washington last night. Don't let it come down to the mat wrestling.
Well, Nelson's standing up. There you go. Say stand up, kind of straight up down, walking backwards, trying to get O'Reilly to walk into him, and then he's going to drop down for a shot, and he does, but then doesn't get him. Now O'Reilly reshoots, and now he takes down Nelson Brands. So Nelson Brands is going to fall down towards the 5th place match.
So Amin out to a 3-1 lead as he got an escape. Wilson trying to come across. Amin circles back to the center. So now it will be Wilson's choice. What do you do? Do you go neutral here to get the takedown?
Yeah, I think you got to go neutral. I think Manning's right in this one. You go neutral. I think it's going to be pretty tough to get an escape or a takedown or a reversal.
I don't know if there's been a stall call, but you could potentially get a stall point and a takedown.
Well, he's not going to get a stall call right now in Michigan. I promise you that. Not the one that's going to matter. It's a stall call, but Amin's got double unders now, and that's going to do it. Amin is going to win this one in overtime.
A little extracurricular between the two afterwards.
Yeah. And then the Nebraska bench just got warned.
Down there, tied up at 4 between Ruth and Smith with 1:20 to go, but they've got a review going on. Mat number 1, Salazar of Minnesota against Saldano of Rutgers. A minute gone by in the first period.
Boy, am I glad that Patrick Kennedy beat Amin.
Looks like Jacob Warner is on deck on mat number 3, where Ruth and Smith are wrestling right now. Iowa Style Apparel is your stop for all things wrestling. Get the latest looks for sports fans of all ages, including an expansive wrestling section. Shop online at iowastyleapparel.com or visit their store on Edgewood Road Southwest in Cedar Rapids. Iowa Style Apparel in Cedar Rapids. I'm like a kid in a candy store when I walk in there.
Yeah, you got your Go Time shirts. We still have some It's Go Time shirts left for here at Big Ten's, the postseason shirts, and going into Tulsa. Even if you're watching it home or a watch party or whatever, you have a shirt for the event for the Tulsa Nationals. It's a 2023 postseason shirt. We got them in long sleeve gray and short sleeve black. And it's go time. This is time to where it's now or never. It's time to go. We got 3 finalists coming up here. It's time to go. Big Ten Championships is a big deal.
Mat number 2, Pinto of Nebraska and Fine Silver of Michigan. So another Michigan-Nebraska matchup over there. Pinto with the takedown leads 2-1 as Fine Silver gets the escape. Mat number 1, no score with Salazar and Saldano. 3-2 is the lead for Smith of Ohio State as they waved off the takedown.
McCaffrey's hot right now. Another 3 for McCaffrey. Iowa leads this one 40-36.
Let's get another one. Oh, he just missed it.
So Ruth loses to Smith. So Brands is going to have Ruth Rematch from the dual meet that was overtime. You want to bet a quarter it goes overtime again?
Sure. What the heck? Do I get to say yes it does or no it doesn't? So let's see. That one and that one. Here comes Jacob Warner out for the Hawkeyes. Jacob taking on Jackson Smith of Maryland, the number 6 seed. These two have never wrestled before. On mat number 3.
I was just informed by KJ Pilcher. This is something I didn't know. We were talking about the 1975 Northern Iowa men's wrestling, the wrestling team getting the team award this year, the national championship team. And he let me know that my former high school coach, Dick Briggs, was on that team.
Okay.
I did not know that. Thanks, KJ. Congratulations, Coach Briggs. Lots of good things going on up there in the Dan Gable Wrestling Museum and inductees this year.
Minute gone by down here on mat number 3. No score for Jacob Warner.
I wonder if Kelly Ripa's here in the audience.
Yeah, I don't know. Her son is on the team.
It's at Michigan here. I guess I haven't really been paying attention looking at the crowd.
And 20 to go now for Jacob Warner. Still no score. Over there, Fine Silver with an escape, so he ties up Lenny Pinto.
The Hawks basketball team leads this one 43-37. They're in a timeout with 23 seconds left to go in the first half. Come on, Jacob Warner. Let's make something
Changed
happen
levels
here.
there, but Smith able to down block.
These guys wrestled ever?
No. Ankle pick attempt there by Smith. Jacob tries to get a reshot, but Smith able to scramble away from him.
I was just watching this match in my binos, and I just happened to glance behind the Terry Brands over there to the left, and he got Edmund Roots just sitting there sweating his tail off after he just lost, just sitting there in the chair, just hanging out.
Sitting there watching Jacob
watching
Warner.
this match. Look at him.
Yeah, I see him down there.
I know, but just looking like he just got done wrestling. He's just sitting there watching this match, and it's not even his weight class. He's just kind of like sitting there just dazed, like, oh, well, I'm just going to sit here. Isn't that weird?
Yeah. Fine Silver gets a takedown and near falls. Almost had the pin right there. But Fine Silver of Michigan's going to have an 8-2 lead against Lenny Pinto. Jacob Warner scoreless.
Warner scoreless after the first period. Going into the second period, Warner starts down. Salazar and Saldano. Salazar of Minnesota, Saldano of Rutgers. 0-0 in the second period. Warner gets a 1-point escape right away in 5 seconds.
Let's get to your legs here, stud. Underhook throw by. I mean, you don't have to go double unders and try to throw somebody. I mean, he's good at getting that underhook and then throwing it to the leg. He's trying to set it up there. Hawks miss a buzzer beater, so they take a 4-point lead into halftime at Carver Hawkeye Arena, 43-39.
Senior day, it's not like, I mean, it's full. It's pretty full, but it's not completely full by any means in the Carver Hawkeye Arena today. Just, I think a lot of Hawkeye faithfuls
There's
are
a
up
double
in
leg
Minnesota.
into a body lock by Jacob Warner.
Can he finish this on the edge?
They
nope,
go out
step
of bounds.
I think a lot of the Hawkeye faithful have traveled north to
Minneapolis.
And are waiting for the women's game.
Or like Bob Chisano's normally there. He's here in Ann Arbor watching the wrestling. It's a fun time of year, but it's a hard time of year because there's so much great, exciting action going on for the Hawkeyes.
Yeah, I mean,
another
think
ankle
about
pick attempt by Smith, and
if you're
Jacob stepped out.
Part of the administration for the University of Iowa today.
Yeah.
You're like drawing straws to figure out who's going to go where.
There's Jacob.
Nice shot.
Ahead, gets to the ankle, trying to elevate with it. Reaching across that far one, now gets it up underneath his armpit, reaching high, trying to get down, adjust. Looking to treetop it, but Smith able to twist his knee and pull it down out of the way.
That was a great shot by Jacob Warner. I don't know if I've ever seen him hit that shot before.
The only problem is he got a little extended, kind of fell, was laying on his belly.
He hit that shot from a low single from a non-tie and cut the corner immediately. He was on his elbows, but he came up. He did a lot of the right things, but then he just, again, like we always say, he didn't take the leg high. He didn't elevate it up high. And then allowed Smith to just kind of like kick out from there.
So when he's there, he gets that shot and he's got it up, and you can see he wants to adjust his grip a little bit. Is he doing something wrong when he tries to adjust to elevate it high that's allowing guys to be able to kind of twist and kick out of there?
Yes. Nice return right there for Jacob Warner. He's banking right now on riding Smith tough here. Trying to get some riding time because remember Jacob Warner got out in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Smith didn't really put any effort into riding us. We've talked about this throughout the tournament. I don't know why guys don't ever put any effort in the second period trying to ride the guy at least for 30 seconds. Now Jacob Warner basically just has to ride for a minute 5, get his riding time, and then he can win 1-1 on riding time. Now though, Smith up to his feet, hand control, and he's out. So now we're tied 1-1. Riding time not a factor. Going back to answer your question, Steven, what Warner's doing there is he's trying to adjust the grip just by standing still and then using his hands and arms versus taking his body to the leg and then using his body and his weight and his momentum to come up and get closer to his hands to lift the leg up.
Okay.
And he's getting too extended and his hands and his grip becomes weak.
Approaching 1 minute to go here in regulation. Warner tied up at 1 with Smith, the number 6 seed from Maryland. Smith almost looks like he could be an 84-pounder. There's a little slide-by attempt. Jacob throws into an underhook, though, and they go out of bounds. Head back to the center. Caffey and Bronigal getting after it over on mat number 2. That's who Jacob will wrestle. Winner or loser of that one.
I didn't see who won between Saldano and Salazar.
It's still going on. They got blood time over there on mat number 1.
Salazar's up 3-0. Iowa fans wanted a stall call right there against Smith. There's a nice ankle pick by Jacob Warner right there, but he didn't follow through with it, and Smith is able to kick out.
Jacob's been to the leg several times. He's got to be able to finish, though. He's got 21 seconds left in regulation. Cassioppi on deck on mat number 3 where Jacob Warner is. Brody Teskey on deck on mat number 2 where Caffey and Bronigal are wrestling. There's Jacob,
nice
another
shot.
Same one to the ankle, but he lost it. Then a reshot by Smith. Jacob able to scramble up, hustled, squared back with him.
So what point are we going to call Smith for stalling here? I mean, how many times have we had double unders and shots to Smith's 0?
I was just talking to Cody Goodwin before. Same thing you and I say all the time. If Jacob were ahead 3-1 at that point, or even 2-1, or have this riding time point, and Smith was taking those shots, Jacob would have gotten dinged for a stall call.
So we're into overtime. And those are actually really good shots by Jacob Warner, too. Dropping down right at the ankle. There's a duck attempt right there by Smith.
Jacob
now
comes
Warner's
back double unders again. They go out of bounds. There is the stall call.
Yeah, that should be about his 5th one. And then the Maryland coach. The Maryland coach, there's another duck attempt
Warner
by Smith.
Body
and
lock
he
attempt by
does take
Smith,
us
and he
down.
gets behind. Look at him celebrate. I stalled my whole way through, and then I get a win, and the one time I did something.
Man, those Maryland coaches are fired up. That's why you don't let the matches come down to the very, 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 very end.
Yep.
But at the same time, Jacob Warner was doing a lot, at least in the third period. That Maryland coach really, really happy about that win right there. They were going nuts, just pushing each other, all excited.
It's big to beat somebody wearing that black and gold singlet.
You ain't a woofing. It's that black and gold singlet. That's huge for a guy from Maryland to win. And that guy from Maryland, Smith, he waited until overtime, and then he brought it. And did he bring it? He kept hitting those ducks and finally caught Warner.
He hit that duck, and Jacob went to an overhook on it, and then he just readjusted and basically went back to it, and Jacob just couldn't quite square up with him. It's going to bring Tony Cassioppi out. Cassioppi taking on Lucas Davidson. Beat him 3-2 in the dual meet this year. Davidson lost in sudden victory to the 5-seed Hilger of Wisconsin. Then he came back, 6-1 win over Joels of Minnesota, and then he pinned the number 10 seed Kopis of Purdue.
That's where that match, going back to that Warner match, where what's that guy's name for the Maryland coach?
Clemson.
Alex
Clemson.
The way that he was crying about the stall call number 1, and then the way he celebrated, like overly celebrated when he got the takedown. That's when you're Bobby Telford and Terry Brains in the corner. It's everything you can do to take your medicine in that situation right there and hold your composure. That's tough. That is really, really tough not to get confrontational with Clemson, the coach from Maryland right there. After your guy did everything in the third period, nobody did anything the first or second period. No stall calls. And then until overtime right there, and then your guy decides to wrestle and wins, and then they celebrate like that. That's hard. That's when it's really tough to be a wrestling coach.
A big snap by Tony into a front headlock. Couldn't get through to the leg of Davison. There, Bronigal leads Caffey 4-2. So Jacob will have the loser of that match for 5th place later today. There's another snap into a snatch attempt by Jacob, and then an underhook throw by attempt by Davison. Now Cassioppi, double unders, body lock. They're right on the edge. They go out of bounds. Stall call on Davison for going out of bounds. Northwestern coach is not happy with that one, but not sure anybody's ever happy when they get called for stalling.
What you're watching right now, of course, are our Consolation semifinals. Following these matches,
Did Salazar win that one, I take it?
I think, yes, he did. .1:15 to go for Cassioppi. First period, no score. Remember, Cass had to work hard to finish against Davison in the dual meet.
Smith that did beat us from Maryland. He was the 6th seed to our 5 seed, so it's not
Tony
like he was...
snatch single.
Oh!
And Davison bears it. Rolls
Tony,
us through.
look at this! Yes, Tony!
Through,
Keep
grabbing the
scrambling,
leg.
Tony!
Davison trying to cut the corner on us. Reaches back, cross lift.
Come up, Tony!
Tony trying to elevate there, hanging on to the ankle. Davidson on his feet, trying to pick us up. Now he stepped over our ankle, going into a crossface. Now they're going to stop it for a stalemate.
Wow, Tony scrambled unbelievably right there. Great scrambling by Tony Cassioppi. He was pretty much dead right to take him down. He just kind of caught flat-footed and started trying to backpedal and fell right over his heels. And Davison was on top of us, but we kind of just scrambled right out the kind of the back door through the legs of Davison and then ended up getting into a stalemate. But man alive, he scrambled out of that big time, Tony Cassioppi did.
15 to go here in the first. A couple of decent attempts by Tony, but Davison showing good defense. Well, there on mat number 2, 5-3 is the lead for Bronigal with a little over a minute to go. Orndorff of Ohio State, Hilger of Wisconsin scoreless in the second period. Cassioppi's choice. He's going to go down to begin the second period. We said Teskey on deck on mat number 2. Caffey just gives up another stall point, so he's down 6-3. Tony, no real move from the bottom. Davidson trying to get forward pressure. Now Tony's starting to work up into that tripod. Hand control.
Nice job,
and
Tony.
And comes up with an underhook.
He's going to get a reversal?
Trying to limp arm out, looking to get to that leg. Now gets into a body lock situation.
Bam! To his back. No back points, but
no back points, but he did get the 2 reversal.
That's a reversal.
On the edge, Tony trying to put a ride here, leading 2-0.
See, and that's exactly why I wish Tony Cassioppi would go feet a lot more than what he does. He wrestles on the top without getting a lot of turns on the top and racks up all his ride time. But when he goes feet, you look at how many times he's taken guys to their backs this year. I promise you he's taken them to their backs more times from a feet neutral setting than he does when he's just riding on top.
Tripod by Davison. We're looking for a half on the right side. Davison keeping that butt up in the air. Tony riding around on the right side, left arm around for that seatbelt. Now Davison works up to his feet, trying to get that hand control. And Tony trying to drop between the legs. Cannot. Davison out for the escape. 2-1, 55 seconds to go, second period.
Oh, Caffey got hurt.
Caffey's done, so I'm curious if that means...
Yeah, he's like done. He's not coming back and wrestling against Warner.
That'll be a couple more bonus points for the Hawkeyes. It's going to bring out Brody Teskey. Teskey taking on the number 7 seed Joe Heilman of Rutgers. It's on mat number 2. Mat number 3, 20 seconds to go, second period. Cassioppi, a 2-1 lead. Reversal here to start the second period. Got 19 seconds built towards his riding time. Period comes to an end. Davison will choose down to begin the third. Hilger and Orndorff tied up at 1 with a minute to go in regulation over there. Davison off the whistle, tried switch action. Tony scoots around the other way, trying to keep that forward pressure. Davison into a tripod up to his feet. And there's the escape for Davison. Takedown over there for Orndorff, but now Hilger trying to roll through for a reversal. Cassioppi and Davison tied up at 2. There's a low single attempt by Tony. Trying to drive through, but good hips again by Davison, stopping us off. Referee's going to talk about something over there on mat number 1. Stalemate for locked fingers here with Cassioppi and Davison. Teskey underway, 45 seconds gone by. He's in a front headlock against Heilman, trying to clear out of that.
1 minute to go here between Tony Cassioppi and Davison. All tied up 2-2. Davison of Northwestern ranked 4th in the country. Tony Cassioppi ranked 3rd in the country, as their seeds are in this tournament as well.
Brody Teskey over there trying to work an underhook. Couldn't get anywhere with it.
That shows you how tough the heavyweight division here is in the Big Ten. You have the 1, 2, 3, and 4 ranked heavyweights in the entire country, all here in the Big Ten. Nice shot by Teskey right there. Nice low shot. He's going to get it. Oh, I thought he had his head out. I thought that should have been 2 right there.
There's Tony, another shot from a ways away. Remember, Davison does have a stall call against him.
Teskey trying to push that leg off. Did he just give the 2?
No, he gave a 1 count on the neutral danger.
Get your arm out. Now, this situation, all he has to do is get his right arm out right there. Just get your right arm out. There you go. There's 2. Call the 2.
There it is for Teskey.
I just want to throw my binoculars from here all the way down on the mat because I don't understand why it takes him so long to call the takedowns. It took forever for like an extra 3 or 4 seconds for him to finally call that, and nothing had changed. As soon as the arm came out, the leg was already hooked.
Yeah. Go to sudden victory here for Cassioppi and Davidson. Tied up at 2.
I mean, what if in a situation like the time was running out, there was only 2 seconds left on the clock,
yeah,
and he doesn't call it? If there was 1 more second, you would have, and nothing would have changed.
Right.
I mean, that's how you have to look at it. When there's a takedown, you call the takedown. Every single little second for riding time counts.
Tony, a couple of flurry of action right there. And he drops in. Nice double leg. Dumps him over. Takes him down to his back. Oh,
time's up. What happened?
Injury time, it looks like.
That was a phenomenal shot by Tony Cassioppi. That's got to be 4 near fall for us, right?
I mean, either way, it's not going to matter because it won't be the difference between a major.
I guess
looks like Davidson twisted his ankle.
Yeah, it's overtime, so it doesn't really matter. I think that still, though, I mean, we could have gotten a pin right there. Nice shot, Tony Cassioppi. We'd like to see that. Nice shot, Tony Cassioppi. That was a big shot in overtime. Beautiful double. Hit to his knees, picked him up on his shoulder, just turned into him and put him down. Looks like Orndorff wins down there for Ohio State. So that's who Tony Cassioppi will wrestle, who he wrestled earlier in the tournament. He pinned.
No, he didn't wrestle. He pinned McDermott.
Oh, it was McDermott.
Teskey, 2-0 lead at the end of 1. Now he goes down to begin the third, gets the escape. So he leads 3-0. Kobe Seabrecht going to come out on mat number 3 as well. He's taking on the number 10 seed Derek Gilcher of Indiana. Peterson and Medley coming out for 7th place on mat number 1. Brody Teskey front head.
Nice,
to the
nice
leg, gets around for 2.
I just caught the tail end of it. I was watching Seabrecht. I don't know if Heilman shot on Teskey or Teskey snapped him, but I know that we hit a really nice go behind there, and we're able to secure a 2-point takedown to give us a 5-0 lead, and now we are starting to get riding time as well. Great wrestling right there by Brody Teskey over Heilman. This Heilman's good. That's who beat Drake Ayala last year, right? In the dual meet?
I think so, yeah.
When Ayala hurt his shoulder?
Yeah. He's the number 7 seed, and Brody's the number 8 seed. Down here on mat number 3, Kobe Seabrecht looked like he was trying to set up a duck attempt. Didn't get anywhere with it. Heilman back to his feet. Now tries rolling through. Teskey almost held him right there for a second, but not far enough over.
I don't know anything really about this Gilcher from Indiana.
It's been around for a while. I mean, I recognize the name. He knocked off, who's the 7th seed at 57? Michael Carr, before losing to Haynes. And then he pinned Model of Wisconsin.
He was the 10 seed coming in.
Minute and a half to go here. First period, no score for Seabrecht. 20 seconds to go, second period. 5-0 is the lead for Teskey. There's Kobe coming across, looking for those double unders. He's got that right one in. Now goes inside trip action. Can't get anywhere. Trying to get double unders again. Gets them on the edge of the mat. Gilcher clearing out. Kobe trying to pull him back in. Trying to find some real estate to work with. He's doing a good job trying to turn him, trying to get those hands locked. Headlock attempt there by Gilcher. Kobe stands square with him, though. Still trying to be patient and adjust this. He's got a minute to go. Outside trip, and then Gilcher throws that overhook in, steps over, now squares back up, tries going back to that headlock. Kobe staying on his knees, now comes back up, still with that body lock situation. Gilcher right on the edge of the mat. Kobe now foot sweep. Couldn't get anywhere with it.
Teskey doing a good job. He was up 5-0 at the end of the second period. He has over 2 minutes of riding time now. Riding Heilman, just tough ride on Heilman.
Brody Teskey, blood time it looks like as they went out of bounds. No points scored. Teskey, 1:46 to go. 2:11 of riding time. And I was just going to ask, and as I look over, he says optional start to cut him.
See, I like this out of Teskey, going for that major. He's up 5-0 with riding time, makes it 6-0. He cuts him at 6-1, so he needs 2 takedowns in 1:46 to get the major here. Nice. See how he picked him up, put him down, then he let him go?
Yep.
That's how you wrestle right there, Brody Teskey.
It's a mindset. It's a mentality thing. It's,
Let
you know
him
what?
know
I'm
that-
still in charge.
Yes, I'm letting you go, and I'm going to make sure you know I am letting you go. I could return you. I could continue to ride you for another 2 minutes, but that's not going to get me any more points. I'm going to continue to try and wrestle on the feet and try and see if I can major you. I love the mentality of Brody Teskey.
Get the blood cleared up, back underway over there with Seabrecht. There's a half attempt there by Heilman. Good down block by Brody. Comes across, front head. Now just pushes Heilman away. Another shot, reshot there by Brody. Cuts off to the double. Should be 2. There's his head buried.
That's
There's
2.
the 2. Makes it 7-1. 8-1 with the riding time. He's got to cut him and get another one. That's what Terry Brands is saying.
Needs one more.
Runs him out of bounds.
Nice shot, nice finish by Brody Teskey. We got 50 seconds to go in this match. We're going to go neutral start. That's going to make it 7-2. Another takedown would make it 9-2, but with riding time and a ride out, that would give us the major. See if Brody can pull this off or not.
35 seconds to go. Seabrecht scoreless at the end of 1. There's Brody coming across, throwing an underhook. They go out of bounds. No points.
Heilman hit a shot right there, and Teskey hit a reshot.
Seabrecht starts down, got to his feet, and then Gilcher throws him down to the mat.
Yeah, he picked us up and put us down right on that shoulder that has the brace on. It makes me a little bit nervous. I see that happen. Heilman with another shot right here. Teskey trying to break the grip. Heilman flat on his belly. Now he sucks it in here. Got to our leg again. Teskey trying to fight this off. Only 13 seconds. He takes Teskey down here to our back, but we were able to scramble off, and that's how it's going to end. But I commend Brody Teskey for at least going for the major and trying.
Yeah.
Just can't let guys to our feet so easily, though.
Teskey will finish in 7th with a 9-4 win.
Teskey's slow at getting up. I'm seeing what's going on here.
Over there, Seabrecht gets his escape. Now he's got an overhook. Now just swims to clear out of that. Seabrecht leading 1-0. Gave up 32 seconds riding time. Takes a shot. Comes back up in that body lock situation. And Gilcher trying to get over the head. Now Kobe still with that body lock. Gilcher trying to go back to that head. Looking neck wrench area. Kobe comes back up. Double unders in the center of the mat this time. Guys are getting after it here for a 1-0 score. Now they clear out of those double unders. Facundo of Penn State coming out.
Teskey finishes 7th. That's what we're wrestling for right now here at Kobe Seabrecht and Gilcher.
Stalemate, caution, I think Gilcher for hands to the face. Next time it would be a penalty point. 30 seconds to go, second period. Seabrecht leading 1-0. Over there, Peterson of Rutgers, a 2-0 lead and 2:42 of riding time at the end of the first. Kobe drops down for another shot attempt. Again, kind of like the Warner match. Kobe's been the aggressor so far. No, he hasn't touched the legs, but he's been creating situations. He's not just hanging out. I told Cody Goodwin when we had our conversation, I said, you know, you can talk about dual meet championships and this, that, the other thing if you want to, you know, help grow the sport. Just get back to calling, stalling, and forcing wrestling. Get excitement into the sport. And that's going to go a long ways towards getting people to turn on the TV sets and watch it.
Well, it's out there a lot more now than it ever has been as far as opportunities to watch it. It's just unbelievable with all the streaming and ESPN and BTN. It's awesome for a sport and all sports. There's just so many opportunities to view sports compared to it was 20 years ago. Well, just got to continue to make it more exciting for the fans. But when the fans don't really know any better, this is what they're used to seeing. They don't really know any better. But it could be a lot greater, that's for sure. And exciting when something does happen. It's just too far and few in between. I mean, how many times this year do you see matches 0-0 at the end of the first period, 1-1 going to overtime?
Way too many.
So many matches. So many matches. And then there's some matches that have been great matches, 1-1 going in overtime. Oh my gosh, this is a fantastic match. It happens, it's just nobody scores. Some great scrambles or whatever, but 90% of them are absolutely no offense from either guy for the first 7 minutes.
Kobe Seabrecht with a leg in, putting in a ride, almost trying to get that far side cradle here. Continuing to work. He's about ready to get his riding time. All right, let's go with that leg. Kobe Seabrecht, 25 seconds away from a 7th place finish. Go out of bounds, head back to the center with 16 on the clock. Gilcher slow back to the center.
Seabrecht. 0-0 at the end of the first period between Facundo and Bronigal. There's another one.
How many times did you have matches where it wasn't 0-0, but maybe you were losing because you gave up a takedown in that first?
I don't know. I'd be really curious, honestly, if I I don't know if I ever had a match in my career ever that I can remember at the end of the first period after 3 minutes was 0-0. Ever. You know, whether I was winning or losing, I don't think I ever had a match at 0-0 at the end of the first period. That I can remember. I'm sure I did somewhere. That's a lot, over 100 matches. Somewhere there had to have been, one or two along the lines. But you're either scoring or getting scored on. Nice job by Kobe Seabrecht here, picking up Gilcher and returning him. Kobe Seabrecht has riding time.
Kobe's going to win with that riding time point, 2-0. He will finish in 7th place for the tournament.
Nice ride, Kobe Seabrecht. It was a big ride that whole third period.
As we announced earlier, Abe Assad winning by medical forfeit. So he will finish in 7th place as well. We're going to step out, take a timeout. We'll be back to wrap things up for this portion and be back in a little over an hour. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. This is Hawkeye Wrestling from Learfield.
Stock up on your big game essentials with Local Craft Cellar. Local Craft Cellar in Cedar Rapids is your one-stop shop, offering Eastern Iowa's best selection of craft beer, wine, and spirits, plus Edgewood locker meats and a wide variety of Iowa-made products. At Local Craft Cellar, they have the stuff you won't find anywhere else. Stop by today at 7085 C Avenue Northeast in Cedar Rapids. Again, that's 7085 C Avenue Northeast. Please drink responsibly.
We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/IowansWin.
This is Coralville Mayor Megan Foster. The city of Coralville was founded in 1873. Help us celebrate 150 years of building our community. Join the sesquicentennial celebration through October 2023. The city of Coralville will mark this milestone with activities, festivals, and events to celebrate our hometown's rich history, traditions, and diversity. Visit coralville.org/Coralville150 for more information about our rich history and bright future.
This week on The Marketers Report, Patrizio Spagnoletto, Global Chief Marketing Officer, Direct-to-Consumer for Warner Brothers Discovery, weighs in on building trust.
Trust is a really hard thing to build and a really easy thing to destroy, and we have to be very respectful about that. Our partnership with iHeart has really helped us build that trust and that relationship with the on-air talent.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives you access to all. Every audience, live conversations, trusted influencers, and the data you need to grow. Go to iHeartResults.com for more.
This is Iowa Hawkeye Wrestling on AM 800 KXIC, Iowa City.
Back in Ann Arbor, Hawkeyes done for this round. Max Muran winning by medical forfeit. Yaya Thomas with a concussion and had to forfeit out. Nelson Brands losing a 3-1 sudden victory match. Jacob Warner losing a 3-1 sudden victory match. Tony Cassioppi winning a 4-2 sudden victory match. So Brands and Warner will be wrestling for 5th. Muran and Cassioppi will be wrestling for 3rd. Brody Teskey and Kobe Seabrecht both picking up wins. Teskey 9-4, Seabrecht 2-0, and then Abasad with the win already by medical forfeit. So those three all finish in 7th place. Always a lot better to finish on the odd side of the bracket for the Hawkeyes. With the matchups later, Muran will be taking on Shane Van Ness, a rematch of the quarterfinals against Penn State. Nelson Brands will have a rematch from the dual meet against Edmund Ruth of Illinois. Jacob Warner will have a quarterfinal rematch against Cam Caffey of Michigan State, potentially. Caffey injury defaulted out of his match. Be curious to see if he comes back to wrestle or not. And then Cassioppi will take on Tate Orndorff of Ohio State in the 3rd place matchup as well. With those matchups, you've got Facundo going to win right now for Penn State at the 7th place match at 165. That'll give them one more point. That'll put them to 129. The Hawkeyes at 119.5. Nebraska lost a team point in that 65-pound matchup, so they're down to 97.5. Ohio State 91. Minnesota at 79. Michigan at 75.5. Northwestern at 74.5. So 8.5 points, Mark, still within striking distance, but going to have to take care of some business tonight and hope that we can get some help from some other teams to knock off Penn State in a few of those matchups.
Yeah, well, we can only control our own destiny and the fact that there are no wrestling matches. And since we don't go head-to-head with them at all in the semifinals, we just need to win out, and then hopefully, the other rest of the field can help us out a little bit. But more than likely not. I mean, Penn State's so strong at so many of those weights, 6 finalists. But we just got to take care of business. I thought we had a really good consolation and medal match round here this morning. We won a lot of matches. We wrestled hard for the most part. Still leaving a lot of points out on the map, but overall, pretty decent tournament so far. So, again, we just want to try and get through the rest of this tournament, remaining healthy and get to nationals. But a few Big Ten champions would be really, really nice to leave Ann Arbor with.
We're going to step off here for about an hour. We're going to start the final session at 4:30. So Mark and I are going to go off for right now, and then we will come back and have the finals session, 1st, 3rd, and 5th place for all 10 weight classes in about an hour, 4:30 Eastern, 3:30 in Iowa City. So we will talk to you then. A quick timeout, and we'll send it back to Fox Sports Programming and be back for more of the 2023 Big Ten Wrestling Championships right after this. You're listening to Hawkeye Wrestling from Learfield.
Okay, close your eyes and imagine.
Well, unless you're driving.
Yes, imagine you bought a scratch ticket from the Iowa Lottery.
Or someone gave you one.
Yes, right. And you scratch, and you've won.
Won big.
Yes, in fact, there are 13 holiday games with big cash prizes. And if you don't win, play it again. You can still win up to $100,000 in the VIP club.
But you have to enter and see rules and complete details at ialottery.com/VIP.
Yes. Thank you.
Woohoo! Save on your next project with 11% off everything at Menards. Line up your